It doesn't. Yeah, there it is. Now it's failed.
Oh,
all right.
brutal.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So November, I would like to introduce you to Magic the Gathering.
No, this is an act of violence you're threatening against me, and I'm entitled to defend myself.
You're a trans woman. You like
For
either Magic or D&D.
The people of Europe have suffered under the yoke of unpredictable American insanity. Yes, yeah. And, ever since I saw Macron wearing those sunglasses, I was like, I knew that we have to rejoin the EU so that you can never make me play Magic the Gathering. And I personally have a nuclear weapon that is hooked up to my heartbeat. And if it goes over the sort of like you are playing the Magic the Gathering,
there's a new Lorwyn block. We're playing it, friend.
Dusted.
We're doing a cube draft and we're going to town. Roz doesn't know how to play Magic. You don't know how to play. Victoria, can you play Magic?
Absolutely the fuck not.
My wife taught me to play Mahjong recently. Does that count for anything?
How do I have 2 trans women and Roz and none of you can play Magic?
It's because you're talking to 2 trans women with jobs.
I mean, I don't have a job, but I'm broke, so like I've seen
what
this.
The
most I know about Magic is that I have had people come through my home that I have printed out Magic cards for to build their decks because it costs apparently somewhere around the price of like a used Honda Civic to build a decent deck. And so
also every trans woman I know who's really into Magic has a job, so it's kind of like that was a kind of unfair thing that I said. I play Mahjong. I play Riichi Mahjong, okay?
Victoria, can you play Warhammer?
No, but my wife likes to build the models.
Oh my god.
I'm playing
Hall. This one's for you.
I'm playing named like a distant plane counterinsurgency in Afghanistan with the little counters. Okay.
I was homeschooled my entire childhood. I did not make friends until I was 19 years old.
Pennsylvania. Which one's harder?
I might be getting to play like a tabletop role-playing game for the first time this year.
Victoria, when you come back out here, I'm teaching you how to play Twilight Struggle. Okay.
Roz and I once played Magic the Gathering, and he was just really bad about you.
I didn't understand it at all.
Hated it.
Hey, quick question for the floor. How many news items do we have on this episode?
At least 9.
We still haven't clapped. Also,
okay.
We need to clap now.
I didn't like the concept of Magic the Gathering. I'm a man of science. I want Science the Gathering. Science the Symposium.
Science the Gathering, or primitive accumulation.
That's just blue. That's just mono blue control, my guy, and I play that.
All right. I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1. Mark.
3, 2, 1. John. Anyway.
2, 1. Mark. Okay, close enough. And we have to do a podcast, right? Yeah, that's what we do here is podcasts.
It's true. We do those.
Yeah. Occasionally, when
my voice is fucked. By the way,
when someone's not doing surgery on us.
This is true. There's the podcaster who has had surgery, the podcaster who is currently having surgery, and the podcaster who hopes to have surgery yet to come.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend surgery. They were like,
okay, you don't have to be like fucking.
Hold up. I'm not being transphobic. I'm saying for me. Number 2, they were like, oh, you're a little nervous. We're gonna shoot the good shit right into your veins.
Love that shit.
You were in the 1% regret rate because you got it just kind of on a whim. You're not even trans. You're just like, I just feel like
man. Cut me open, bro. They were like, hey, do you know what's happened to you? And I was like, yeah, you're cutting my scrotum open. And they were like, yes. I was like, yeah, what you're cutting my scrotum open. What are you not cutting?
No easy way to say
this. Are you not cutting my
shit
open? Are you not cutting my shit open? You're cutting my shit open.
Suddenly you're weird for like saying it in those terms.
Right. I'm like, exactly. Oh, you're a doctor. Okay, yeah, look at my balls some more. I don't give a fuck.
To 7 years of balls medical school to look at your balls, and then they're going to make you look like you're the freak for saying, you're going to cut my balls off.
You're going to cut my balls off. That's what you're fucking doing.
Oh, goddamn. Okay. So many people died in this one.
One of my favorite things is the person who got rid of mine. I actually...
Oh, no, they gave me a 3rd ball.
Oh, damn.
I know you say person instead of doctor. Was this one of those, like, you drive up to a barn upstate jobs? You got one of Victoria's.
No, I went to a doctor, but, like, this doctor did a bunch of my friends also. And so I gave her a copy of the book and was like, here, I think you've done like 4 different women's surgeries that are contained within the pages of this photo book. Consider it a gift from the community.
I regret to inform you, my doctor went to Virginia.
Ooh.
I have finally met a Virginia alum I like.
Wow.
Finally, I have met one good Virginia alum. Burn UVA to the ground and everybody in it.
Speaking of burning things to the ground.
Masterful.
Yes.
Attaboy.
Hello, and welcome to Well, There's Your Problem. It's a podcast about engineering disasters with slides. I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are he and him. Okay, go.
I'm November Kelly. I'm the person who's talking right now. I am desperately trying to salvage my completely fucked voice, and my pronouns are she and her. Yay, Liam.
Yay, Liam. Hey, I'm 3-Ball Anderson. My pronouns are he and him. Okay.
From your days as a pitcher.
Yeah. I throw a nasty fastball that I go into my scrotum and I just yoink and just
They actually banned that in Major League after old Hoss Radbourn tried that at the World Series in 1911.
They call him 3-Ball because he's never been walked.
Hi, my name is Victoria Scott. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are she and her. Today I have prepared an episode mostly that I hated making. It's awful. This is the semi-submersible oil drilling rig, the Deepwater Horizon, and as you may have guessed by now, it should not look like that. I'm done. We can go back to balls.
About to say,
it's going to be way better than the rest of this episode. Doing the news slides.
Detail
heavy. Oh my god! I went. So obviously, everybody knows at this point that I read the comments of these. So I went and looked at the last episode I was in to see the comments to make sure everybody either was tolerating me still or had suddenly turned on me and hated me because
everyone's saying nice things about Victoria and tell her that she worries too much.
You wake up at 3 a.m, you have these anxieties. But I just looked through and every single comment is yes, 2025 before context happened.
It's
true. This is our first episode with a full news section since that, which was recorded December 23rd. And we've had a few of the weeks where decades happen.
It's true. We took a long vacation. We picked the wrong week to quit doing the news segment.
I picked the wrong week to quit drinking, and yet I did it anyway.
Everyone say nice things to Roz, or you will be shot.
Absolutely.
Devin, leave that in.
I'm still having 2 beers.
There's no way that we're keeping monetization on this video. YouTube is actually going to come to our.
We're not monetized. Although people have been saying they're getting ads now, which
they're forcing ads on everything.
YouTube is going to come to our houses and to kill us.
Yeah.
I welcome them with open arms, and by which I mean my 12 gauge.
Well, the reason why that we open the episode with sort of 8 minutes of ball surgery talk is to try and establish a strong bond between us and the listener. It's like we went to boot camp together, right? And so that means you're locked in. You're not leaving because of some fucking ad for Squarespace. And now, granted, the solemn promise on our end is we're never going to be responsible for the ad for Squarespace or whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
We're never going to sell you underwear or pre-made food.
We would try to sell you buysnooze.com, but you can't get it imported to the United States anymore. Thank you, President Trump, you Nazi piece of shit.
Sell you shit that we were interested in, which means dipping tobacco, niche board games, airsoft guns, high-end camera equipment,
and computer parts, please.
Yeah. But the thing is, only discontinued high-end camera equipment.
True.
This is probably a bad time to mention it, but I did accept the teaching position at Prager University.
Can you get us in the back door? I would
once you got tenure at Prager, then
you've really made it. Yeah, by which I mean it's a suicide soup.
Operating the Prager U DEI program.
Oh my God, yeah. No,
he is Polish.
I'm in the engineering department.
And Catholic.
We're trying to figure out how to make engineering more conservative than it already is.
Oh, God. People being like, I don't think there's any queer women in engineering. And I'm like, we do not hang out with the same group of fucking people, do we? Fucking nerds.
We're making more all the time.
We are cracking eggs like we're farmers.
So before we can talk about Deepwater Horizon exploding, we have to do all of the goddamn news.
I gotta say, our use of classical paintings is my favorite gag on this program.
I love it. I love the California housing policy one most of all, of course, with Hieronymus Bosch. You can go and see this one is called Pandemonium. You can go and see it in the Louvre, and then take a sort of handful of tiaras on your way out as well if you're quick. There's a lot of stuff to get through. If you were one of the people who complains in the comments about like, why aren't they talking about Deepwater Horizon? The thing is, if you want to find out about Deepwater Horizon, you could find literally any other source. And the one thing we can promise you is that literally any other source on Deepwater Horizon is not going to include a bunch of stuff that was happening on the 22nd of January, 2026, and 8 minutes of ball surgery.
Yes.
Once again,
they make the chemical safety board take that out of the videos.
The CSB did a video on this that I watched 5 times to make sure I had fully understood the disaster before I even wrote the slide deck. You should probably just go watch that if you don't want to see 4 people discuss like various genitalia related operations.
Whatever. No, you come for the ball talk. You stay for the horrific disregard for human life.
The CSB, they don't let the CSB do jokes, is the thing, and they should, but they don't.
They barely let us do jokes.
But the CSB does do jokes.
Yeah, but only the kind of like Ibsen, like the Ibsen, like kind of dramatic irony kind of jokes.
Yes.
It's not. They're not on our level, or we're not on their level. One of the two.
We're not on their level.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, they have like a really nice like graphic design team and like all that. They got the 3D modeler guys.
Yeah, we got a guy with the I love you too. I don't.
Okay. We got news.png saved at the bottom of my downloads folder from 4 years ago that goes on as an overlay on all of these, and I'm the only one who has the high res, so if anything happens to me, that's my insurance policy, that's my leverage.
I actually wanted to ask you about that because I was like, I should just start throwing in the cryon so that Nova can do less, but I forgot that was actually your bus insurance.
No, I have to like turn the sort of second key on the news item. Otherwise you're gonna get a really low resolution question mark.
I just copied them from previous slides.
It's really the sort of photocopy of the photocopy of the photocopy thing.
That's how you know it's authentic.
Yeah. I hate going to PragerU engineering and your professor hands you a like photocopier burned to fuck printout that just says communism killed 80 billion trillion people.
Good.
Yes.
Should have killed
Can't
more.
even see the number of zeros.
I mean, I'm not a communist because, again, I'm not 5 years old, but at this point, fine, sure.
Okay. News.
Hit me with it.
News.
Oh, God.
All right, we got
YouTube.
Every
like,
single
seriously,
one of them.
start
no.
back. I don't know how much clearer I can make it. Like, what the fuck is it going to take?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, you need to kill people. And I am 100% serious. It's not a joke.
Tensions are high.
It's in the Declaration of Independence, if you purport to give a fuck about that, is if people
presupposes we know how to read as Americans.
Yeah,
but
sure, but like if agents of the state just roll up on you and murder you in the street, you live in tyranny, and the point of being an American textually is that you are supposed to revolt against tyranny. Now, granted, all the guys who wrote that were hypocrites, but still, you gotta.
You can't say that on YouTube.
Just bleep every verb, I guess.
That was a lot. That was a lot of bleeps right there. Yeah.
Hey, Devin. I assume you're on hour 28 of this. So love you, bud.
Love you too, buddy.
I need
back.
Yeah,
the official
I need
position of this podcast is.
You know that you can't say that.
I think we all need to know that we're on the same page here. I think the listeners are too. I hope so.
If you somehow lived under a rock, I suppose it's worth mentioning that, an ICE agent decided to unload a handgun into Renee Good's face and murdered her in the street in Minneapolis. And now the city of Minneapolis is federally occupied to an extent that is like schools are not in session. People are scared for their lives. court observers are getting pepper sprayed at point blank range. They just abducted a 5-year-old kid and sent him to a facility where the food quality is so bad they're giving like children nervous breakdowns. It is pretty much like, it's weird for me personally to talk to like the kind of like well-meaning cis liberals that I know in my life who are all kind of like, oh wow, this is so crazy, I can't believe this is happening. It's like, well, we blew past every other fucking warning sign on the way here, and now we're here, and everything is fucking horrifying. Minneapolis is like one of my favorite cities in America, and I have a ton of friends there, so it's like I can't fathom what people there are going through constantly. Obviously the media made it their fucking life goal as soon as Renee was murdered to try to erase the fact that she was a lesbian who was in the car with her wife, and that, you know, the administration position rapidly became, well, this do-gooder liberal kooky lesbian deserved it. Yeah. now
all
Devin,
like,
if you would not mind holding the bleep button,
please.
Genuinely, I am going insane. I don't know, like, and this is the thing about trying to convince like the well-meaning like cis liberal people I know is like, all of the fucking signposts that we've been ignoring for like 5 years, we have blown past, and now there is literally no answer left except moderate position. You have to try everybody in ICE. If they have ever been even close to any document regarding deportations or any of this shit, you have to.
We're all very upset.
Kristi Noem actually has to.
You can't say that on YouTube.
In a judicially sanctioned manner for America as a concept to continue existing, or this place has gotta fucking balkanize.
I'm gonna try and put this in. I'm gonna try and thread the needle here, right? Because there's been a lot of like libs, like the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, future No Gods No Mayors episode, doing the tone but not the content of being like, listen up, fuckers, we're gonna do nothing, right? I'm gonna try and convey the thing in a way that we don't have to bleep, right? Which is just ask the question: how do you imagine this is going to end? With someone getting elected? With the passing of a law? Because if you don't imagine that either of those is possible or sufficient, then you have to imagine something else. That's the button.
At minimum, you got to do like debathification.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is,
these people need to
completely dismantling the agency. And
dismantling the agency is a good start, but these people need to be tried for crimes against humanity.
I was reading.
That should not have to get bleeped.
No, that was not a bleep thing. The next segment is the bleep thing.
Yeah.
Which is, these people should be.
You know what he's saying, but I can't let you actually hear it.
I mean, every ICE agent should be terrified for their fucking lives. They should go door to door, waiting for their day to come home to the Lord. And when they get to St. Peter's Gate, St. Peter will have, I assume, the button that opens the trapdoor directly into hell. Please flash back to the last slide. And then, I mean, if you are genuinely, I am pleading with you, if you are an ICE agent and you have slipped through the crack, you are listening to this, take your service weapon, put it in your mouth.
It's been a long day.
I don't want to tell them to do that. I want to tell them to.
I have to take that out of the episode.
Also that.
There is such a thing as the good ICE agent, the ICE agent that I sympathize with, and that's the ICE agent that...
This is no longer a question of demonetization. It is not legal for a British person to say that.
Watching the other thing too is
mailman can do it, so can ICE. I mean,
it's going to be... I probably shouldn't say that. Never mind. Well, actually...
You just say it and trust in Devin to keep us all out of Secot, you know?
Please keep me out of prison, Devin. Thank you. The thing is every single time I watch a video of these motherfuckers fucking stomping around Minneapolis, they have absolutely no awareness whatsoever. I watched these guys deal with a crowd that they were tear gassing, and one dude just will like peel off and kind of like turn his back on a whole crowd so he can pepper spray one person in the face. And it's like, dude, the minute that you can no longer do that with impunity, they are going to
can't put that in the podcast episode.
Feed you to dogs. Like, they are so fucking incompetent that it would be so easy to...
I can't leave that in the podcast.
It is a testament to the fucking insane patience of every single person with a soul in the city of Minneapolis that no ICE agent has been...
And they should be. We should be very clear.
I understand.
ICE agents should be and or. I'm thinking a Heaven's Gate kind of situation.
I have my brain. So here's the other thing too, is like, and I know that this is very much like, this is the crux of sort of like living as an American during horrible things that America is doing, which is like, I am not front and center. Seattle is not a key focus city for ICE. I really can't do a whole lot. I don't have very much money. I don't have, like, I have whatever influence this podcast gets me, which I know from experience is not, I am not going to fix anything. So I just kind of sit here and I'm like, well, I shouldn't be focused on this because I'm not really the main impact. Obviously, like this, there are other people this is materially harming who are scared for their lives. But I will admit, I can't fucking think at all, and I feel like I'm completely insane because I don't know how you watch this kind of like with the horror of like an avalanche bearing down upon your location and just say like, well, I'm gonna go like pick up medications from the pharmacy that's about to also get wiped out in the avalanche. In the span of, I don't know, a week, a month, who knows?
I guess the only thing that's sort of a benefit to doing this podcast, well, it's not the only thing, but the only thing in this context, right? The only offset there is you can't get us fired for saying these things, right? Like you might be able to get some of us arrested, we hope not, but like you can't get like if you call my boss for the remarks that I've been making about ICE, you are going to get through to Justin,
Hello.
So
I listened to all of it. I'm fine with it.
Confusingly, if you call my boss, you get November.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and if you call my boss, you get Liam. Yeah.
Some kind of circular ownership structure.
And the thing for me is like, I've fully given up on the idea that this economy will ever sustain me having a job again, no matter how bad I want to get out of my fucking apartment. So it doesn't matter anyway. Like, I mean, the thing is, at this point, like, in future slides, I'm sure we'll get to it, but like, the United States is just, we have crossed the event horizon into dollar is no longer world reserve currency, and the US economy is just going to collapse to a degree that like I think most people here have not really, I mean, I'm sure poor people have reckoned with it because like I've been poor and I've thought about it a bunch and a lot of my friends have, but like I feel like people who are still kind of like, this will be fine, like, the Democrats will win the midterms and like we can reform ICE, like this kind of moderate bullshit thinking is like, no, we are past the event horizon. The minute the AI bubble collapses, we are all so goddamn fucked that like, go ahead, try to get me fired from the podcast or I won't have a job ever again or whatever. It's fine. I wasn't getting one anyway.
If the podcast collapses, what are you going to do? Get me fired from being dead? Anyway, besides that, like the best job you can get is going to be banging two rocks together. So like, are you going to call my fucking grug supervisor?
Also, like,
I don't want to suck myself off too much and be like, oh, I'm so brave for saying all the stuff that we're going to bleep, right? But I am aware that it's a privilege to get to say the stuff that I know a bunch of you are thinking and cannot say publicly.
Exactly.
And I try not to take that lightly. And I hope that you are in agreement with me about this stuff, the stuff that we can only imply or allude to.
Yeah, you can't. I want to be very clear. You can't fucking fire us. I answer to no one except Justin G. Rosiak and possibly buysnooze.com and also possibly my.
You're going to get a stern letter from buysnooze.com.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. De minimis is shut down. I can't fucking import the shit anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the one saving grace here, I suppose, is these ICE guys. They're all, sort of Keystone Cops types.
Doesn't stop them from killing people, but I guess not as many people as they might have.
Yeah, if they were good at it, they'd have killed a lot more.
Every single time I see a story out of one of these detention centers, though, of which we have one in the Puget Sound. There's one in Tacoma that we still, for some reason, allow to keep fucking operating because we won't do anything that would piss off the feds because we're, again, moral cowardice infects every fucking level of the United States government, state and federal. But like, every single time I read a story out of it, it's like, oh, these are concentration camps in like the literal textbook definition of the term, and that the people they're not getting medical care, they're not getting food, they don't have adequate like safety or shelter or lodgings, and nobody really cares about what happens to them. We're learning about deaths in custody all the time. So like, yeah, the Keystone Cops thing is good, but they're still like rounding up people by like the plane load and putting them in these places where they're expected to basically disappear or die. And it's just I mean, it's weird because it's like I feel like there should be some sort of tone that I could strike here that was like lighter, but it's like no, this is fucking endgame shit. It's been endgame shit. We didn't stop it before now, and now it's just gonna. The next couple of years are going to be unfathomably bad for so many people. No matter what we do, it's. I mean, unless you tomorrow, and then maybe things will be fine. You never know.
Verb every single noun.
I can't
climb every mountain. Like, you know.
I'm really good at not saying things in recordings, but y'all have pushed me over into saying things in recordings. I shouldn't do that.
No, that's the whole point. All these people should fucking. All right,
the reckoning's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear on something. The reckoning always comes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. R.I.P. Renee Good. You were better than the rest of us.
Yep.
And you deserved a lot better than you got.
In other news,
this one seems almost quaint in comparison.
I was about to say, we
black bagged a guy. We
for some reason.
Bagged a guy.
Hey, we did
for no
kill
good reason.
We did kill like 80 people in the process of black bagging him.
We can't fucking do anything right. God damn, this country's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
still don't.
Well, hey, my okay, I'm sorry, because I know everybody's already seen all this shit already. But my favorite part of this is that he got part of what they arraigned him on was federal assault weapons charges.
Yeah,
they're his guns.
It's his country. It's his country. They're his guns.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be there.
we sort of await to see whether or not sovereign immunity is still a thing in the United States, and God help us if it isn't, because his defense is justifiably. I am president of Venezuela.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm not. I didn't commit any crimes here.
Why are you doing this?
I am a sovereign.
Yeah, like, okay, sure, he stole the election to be president of Venezuela. Fine, I'm not going to dispute that.
We didn't black bag him, and we should have.
Probably should have. I mean, he's the reason we're in this mess.
Just like a bunch of guys in helicopters ice Bush's entire Secret Service detail and then take him to trial in Caracas.
Yes.
What laws does Venezuela have about like assault rifles? So Nicolas Maduro
find out. Another Spanish buddy
is now in prison with Luigi Mangione, just in fucking Arkham Asylum in Manhattan, I guess.
Are they cellmates? Because that shit would rule.
I hope so. I think that would be cool. And
hang out at the lunch table.
I'd watch that buddy comedy.
I mean, basically, I think the way to understand this.
Hashtag cafe beat cute. Hashtag
coffee shop AU.
Slow burn.
Yeah. So, in terms of what this actually has been, right, in the history of like US intervention, it's not new, but it's newly sort of brazen, right? That we're doing all this stuff in the open and we're not sort of making any bones about it. And it's more honest in a way. And it's more of a license for any state anywhere to just do the sort of like epic shit that they've always wanted to do. So we'll
Besides
see what
the Israelis who have made no bones about assassinating people out in the open, but other countries have been too polite.
We'll see what comes out of Pandora's box on this one. But we also know now, at the remove of a few weeks, that his own vice president set him up, which is an insane move. And I would have said treason, I guess. But this is the thing about a dictatorship, right? Is you end up with a lot of people at the top who are sort of like corrupt and sort of self-interested to the point of doing this. I'm not going to sort of burnish the supposed leftist credentials of Venezuela, because you don't need to say that this is a fucking illegal, criminal, stupid thing to do.
Very dumb.
And if there is rule of law in the United States, which is still kind of up in the air, then they gotta acquit him, and then funnier, they gotta bring him back.
Yes,
I know they won't, right? Because I'm not stupid enough to have faith in American courts, but like it would be funny if they were mandated to bring him back and put him back where they found him.
That is the funniest part about this entire fascist project, is that they were like maybe 3 years out from getting the courts completely in line, but they just couldn't fucking wait. Probably because Trump knows he's going to die soon. And he's like, I gotta fucking finish the project while I'm still alive, because God only knows what the hell is rattling around up there.
There was a weird kind of private admission of weakness about this. I was reading the New York Times' deep dive into the FBI under Kash Patel, right? And a lot of it was like lib to like center-right FBI agents being like, wow, my poor FBI, we used to love following the Constitution and now we don't, right? Which is fuck you. But one of the like MAGA appointees, as they were firing one of the FBI agents, very kind of Sicario vibe, was like, do you want to get like investigated for like violating the Constitution now by us or in 4 years' time by the Democrats? And so on some level, some of these people know that maybe there is going to be some kind of like legal consequence of this. I wouldn't hold out a lot of hope for it, but at least it's nice to know that they worry.
My favorite I will part be very clear as a I'm going to turn on my inner lib brain.
Yeah.
Okay? Hang these people for fucking treason. Yeah, straight. No,
absolutely.
I got really, because someone was like, "Oh, I thought you were an anarchist," which I am. But before that, I'm an annoying wine drinking brunch momming lib. And
it's what we said all along.
We should have had people in the fucking streets for treason.
Yeah.
Donald Trump. Oh God, I can't. Nope.
But here's the thing. Do you think Gavin Newsom has the source to do that? Do you think Gavin Newsom's going to get up there, grasp the lectern at the inauguration and be like, pronouns are back and Donald Trump is being executed?
No. He's gonna be sniveling fucking, I don't know, the trans people belong in girl spaces. Fucking Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump. We can.
You know that you can't say that.
You could make Donald Trump homeless, and then Gavin Newsom would do something about
it. From fucking street lamps.
I love my work. I love you guys.
My favorite part of all this is how Trump was like, look, Venezuela is open for oil development. And the oil companies all
like,
said,
oh boy, yeah, I don't know, man.
Nah, we don't want to do that.
My favorite thing is they were like, well, it's been seized before, and I'm just like, all right, listen, again, CEO of ExxonMobil, kneel him over a ditch. Donald Trump, kneel him over a ditch. Gavin Newsom, kneel him over a ditch. Am I forgetting anybody?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God,
Kash
probably
Patel,
thousands.
Kash Patel, nail him over a ditch. Every ICE agent, I'm going to make them dig their own. Welcome to Liam Stalin. I've changed my mind.
Listen, eventually you wait long enough and you as a Marxist Leninist, you will be proven right. There's a tweet going around that's like, listen, vulgar psychoanalysis and vulgar Marxism get you to 1000% like correct predictive power of events. And yeah, turns out.
All right, so we're going to get my dad some sort of walker with guns on it.
I think we must. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cane with the gun in it is no longer cutting it. So we must get him a walker with like 2 Tommy guns strapped to it.
Yeah,
I kind of a Gundam-like situation at that point, isn't it?
He can't see real good, so
it's
fine.
Matter.
It doesn't matter.
Just don't be around him.
You're gonna have to give him an aimbot.
Give my dad a Gundam.
The person I feel the most Schadenfreude about in this whole situation is Putin, right? Because the plan here of there is a guy in charge of what should be in our minds our client state who's doing stuff we don't like. We're going to go in, kidnap or kill him, depose him, and the government's going to be friendly to us, and we're just going to run the whole thing from a distance. That was Russia's plan in Ukraine, and it didn't work. And so all of those dead Russian paratroopers watching the Americans pull this shit off by successfully talking to the right person ahead of time, that's very pleasing to me.
Yes. And then Trump got a Nobel Peace Prize for it.
Well, he got handed someone else's Nobel Peace Prize.
And the Nobel Committee got real indignant about it, which is funny. I know we're not supposed to do the Air Bud playing basketball or whatever, but it is funny that the Nobel Committee was like, nah.
And yet it happened.
Well, it doesn't matter because I don't recognize Venezuela as a country. So, all nation states are bad. I've been consistent on this line.
Boom.
Oh, I mean, listen, we did Trash Future, and we had a guest on, and I got told that, you know, it's not our role as leftists to critique or to analyze like regimes in the global south that are left aligned or whatever. And it's like, is it my role as a leftist to have fucking eyes? Because I've had hemorrhoids that are redder than Maduro.
Exactly. Yeah. You should probably get those checked out. Can someone while we're 35 minutes 50 seconds in, can someone whoever did the illustration of my dad as Chairman Bill, can you also do my dad piloting a Gundam for me, please? Go for it.
In additional news.
Oh my god!
This is the one that's been driving me the most insane. And we're recording this right after Trump went to Davos and sort of walked it back.
Pooped his pants is basically what he did.
The line started to go down. Maybe somebody from the Joint Chiefs said, "Hey, this probably we couldn't do this the way you wanted."
Not today, Chief. Right.
And so he kind of sort of backed out of this idea that the US was gonna like invade and occupy Greenland. For no reason I could tell other than that Greenland big on map.
He thought about it in 2019, and this presidential term, he's decided he is going to chase after everything he couldn't do before. That's why he destroyed the East Wing of the White House, which, again, doesn't matter in the scheme of things.
Good riddance, bitch.
But real fucking funny. It is really fucking funny.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Donald Trump, as a pedophile, right? He yearns for an island, and when his best friend died and lost custody of the island, Donald Trump lost access to that island, and now he needs a new island. And of course, being Trump, he wants the biggest one so that he can do the most pedophilia.
What if he dug a moat around the White House? Then it'd
call it White Castle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like White Castle.
I like White Castle too.
I do think it's
White Castle.
Does this mean now that NATO is dead, we have to actually say critical support to Donald Trump?
No.
Yeah, it does. I said on TF that, you know, I wanted NATO to die in my lifetime, but I didn't expect it to be in such a stupid fucking way.
Very, very dumb.
Nope, that's it. I'm going full NAFO. Let's do it, baby. I've
been that woman in my life. All right, like I need you to
quit. You literally cannot quit.
Within the corners of my soul, there is a little like fucking reprehensible NATO dog man, right? And anytime anyone on any podcast says some shit about Ukraine, I bite it back, and I'm like, listen, you don't fucking know what you're talking about, right? I don't say that, and in return for that, I still get yelled at in the comments. This is just my burden. It's fine. I'm not mad about it, honestly. But yeah, so basically, what we need, I guess, is multipolarity, and that means, Europe is really deciding, maybe we can't rely.
Man, we're gonna go it alone, right? All right. So welcome to the new world capital, Lyon.
My favorite part about this is that even like the foreign policy, like conservative foreign policy wonk guys are like, they can't figure out why Trump did this. No one can figure out why Trump won.
They're just like, the libtards. Like, so you don't know either. You don't know fucking anything either. All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's real dumb guy shit, right? Because as an American president, right, you're allowed to disrespect the Europeans to a point, right? Because we are slime and we love that shit. And our leaders are craven and will sort of like bend the knee to a point. There is a limit on that, and that limit is kind of threatening to invade Danish territory, right?
Yeah.
And you know, where this leads, I have no idea, but I think you would have to be very stupid as anyone of influence in a European capital to say we can't decouple ourselves from the Americans, right? Whatever they do, every 4 years, 10,000 of them in swing states get insane about seeing like a trans woman grade an essay in a way they don't like and decide to initiate World War V. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Because the one thing about China is it's predictable. It's predictably bad, but that you can work with that. The US is unpredictably bad.
it's like, okay, we're going to build military bases. You're already allowed to do that.
Don't we already
we're going to mine for resources.
We already do all this.
Yeah, you do.
We're going to mine for resources. They've been actively seeking American investment for decades now. So far, they've got one ruby mine. That's the only thing that's given a return because it's so damn difficult to mine up there. There's like nothing there. Right?
I think what we should do is simply no, I can't say that or I'll be shot.
Maybe Trump got
we
really
could push China left.
Trump is like really into fisheries now. That's why he's going after Greenland.
Well, he also got it confused with Iceland a bunch of times.
Three times.
True, yeah.
3 times. And Carolyn Leavitt was like, "No, he didn't. Yes, he fucking did. You dumb skank. I can't use a gendered insult."
Old man's brain is melting.
Go to bed, Grandpa.
The Biden ray got him. The fucking Cobalt 60 source embedded in the Resolute desk that just makes you senile in a matter of days got to him, you know?
Have to come up with an Anglicanized name for Reykjavik.
Drop and run, fuckface.
I mean, the thing is like, I remember 2024, unfortunately. I just remember the past, which is a curse and a burden.
I try not to do that.
Neither of them looked very good that year. I think he may have already been going senile. I think the exposure to the Resolute desk from his first term had already taken full hold.
Yes.
The thing is just like at a certain point, we deserve the whole world telling us to fuck off. The US dollar crash is going to be crazy. I'm already building a Jeep Cherokee with spikes on the front bumper. And like a skull and crossbones flag mounted from a bullwhip antenna.
Take me with you.
And I intend to rule I-5 as a god king.
You know what I'm doing? I'm signing up for Mandarin courses.
Go find an ICE agent to use as a blood bag.
I am memorizing the phrase, "This is what cisgender women look like in my country, trust me," and I am just getting that down.
I do want to say, as someone who also is condemned to remember the past, it's so funny because you see these. Good friend of the show, Tom Payne, was pointing out that like Europeans are not so good with the racism thing.
No, this is true,
and it's just like the thing is about American hegemony. It's like you're absolutely right, and I really wanted to speak on your point about like at least China is predictable. Every day I wake up to make sure Reykjavik is still there. I just
do you want to hear some absolute realpolitik in a way that's like really reprehensible?
Honest to God, I do.
Okay, so I heard this from the line amongst people who are in favor of sort of aligning more to China is China is like having a neighbor who beats their kids, right? It's bad. You don't like to see it. America is like having a neighbor who beats his kids and then wants to come over and beat your kids, right?
Yep.
You see the difference. And it's like, if that's the calculation for as Mark Carney puts it, a middle power, fucking hell, right?
Yeah, I don't. Right, exactly. You can't fault these people. Like, I know that we're gonna get yelled at in the comments. Being in America is so goddamn embarrassing. Yeah, we don't care. I want to be very clear on that. Victoria might, November might, Roz might. I fucking don't.
I don't read the comments when I want to feel bad about myself. I search
they
like
cut
Reddit.
My shit open a week ago. You can suck my surgically mangled balls. Gargle them if you will.
Jesus, dude.
All three.
All three
balls. That's right.
No, here's the thing. I care what people think of me in terms of like I want them to find me personally agreeable. But if people want to yell at me for not liking NATO, that's fine.
You like NATO?
Look,
yeah.
Victoria, yeah, you do.
Absolutely not. Get the fuck out of here.
NAFO Victoria. That's what your name is.
I will on the webcam stream.
It's actually called NAVO, North Atlantic Victoria Organization. It's wild. We replaced the star with just your face.
The thing about NATO is they don't have all the starting vehicles, so you really got to use the Soviet custom house to start out.
Yeah, true. Actually,
I know there's a transman I know who walked into my home once with a trans flag NATO pin. and I made her
she
leave
sent
and
me
take
one
it
of
off.
those. Yeah, she sent me one of those as well. I have one in my house. I did not get rid of it. I still have mine.
Can you mail me yours? Because my brother-in-law is gonna like that.
I can probably have her reach out to you. Actually,
thank you.
It glowed with like brightness of 10,000 suns when I
it's
beheld
a
it.
somewhat evil object, but I do still have it. Well, listen,
it's like the One Ring. I can hear it whispering when it's in the same room as me.
The worst is listening to my dad defend NATO as like an ardent communist and being like, listen.
What the?
Well, they did prevent a genocide that one time. You do have to give them that.
That's where it starts and where it stops. Yeah, that's basically my defense of NATO as well.
Well, I say prevent the end. They ended a genocide that was sort of like ongoing.
I mean,
right?
but like, I think on the whole,
Yeah,
I'm still going to say
Victoria.
bad.
I can't blame you. I mean, NAVO is a tough organization to get into. North Atlantic Victoria organization. Somebody make that shirt up, please.
Please do not. I beg of you. I beg of you. Nobody. If you hate me on this show and you'd like me to never see me again, I guess make the shirt. But otherwise, please.
Okay, but yeah, no, I don't know if you know.
All I can say is we're not an organization.
One second.
God damn it.
Well, there's your problem. Make work program is mandatory. I will see you next Wednesday.
It's more of a corvée. Yeah. We're not a podcast with a party line. Each of us ourselves are somewhat politically incoherent. Programmatically, I am a Marxist-Leninist, right? I know what that means. However, it doesn't mean I don't have sympathies, and so like I can look at NATO and I can be like, yeah, but what the fuck?
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So
which is basically my approach to NATO.
It's the time of fucking monsters is what it is. And I think you'll forgive all of us for being a little bit sort of like...
They cut my shit open a week ago. I'm a little delirious.
I have my criticisms, but it is the only thing stopping Germany from invading Poland.
I think Poland might be the only thing stopping Germany from invading Poland at this point.
Rod's with like one G3 just laying there in the folded gap, just ready to go. Just like a half-smoking cigarette. Rod's just like, yeah, come at me. Let's do this. I remember 1978.
It'll just happen. They'll relapse instantly.
What's that? November was the tweet you did about
the first Secretary General of NATO, the British general, and he said that the point of NATO was to keep the Americans up, the French in, the Germans down, and the Russians out, right? And that was the idea, and it was always rigged in the Americans' favor. And now America, for some reason, has decided that it doesn't want to play the game of poker that it rigged anymore.
How many times has Article 5 been invoked?
Oh, I mean...
one time after 9/11. This is the dumbest shit in the world.
Yeah.
Go to bed, Grandpa. And again, if you support Donald Trump, if you support ICE, we'll move on after this.
What the fuck are you doing here? Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing here? What the fuck are you doing contributing to our Patreon and insulting my friend? I blocked you, by the way. Put a gun in your mouth.
Buzz.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Devin.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
I feel kind of bad.
I do actually feel kind of bad. Sorry,
I feel bad for making Devin do the work, but not,
don't go into nightclubs.
Every nightclub is a death trap.
This was
ever.
This afro-ski bar doesn't have a fire exit.
What was it? This was a bar in
Switzerland.
Crans-Montana in Switzerland. Yeah.
Switzerland,
Very, very crowded New Year's party. And as you see here on somebody's phone video, that is a bunch of sparklers, like firework sparklers, the ones that get up to like something crazy, like 8 billion degrees or something, stuffed into the necks of champagne bottles, being lifted to the ceiling, which is covered in flammable insulation.
I will say, I thought it was always kind of like a uniquely American kid that we just treated sparklers like they were toys and children like waved them around at the 4th of July or whatever.
Because I'm
like, this is crazy. Those are so hot. You can absolutely do serious damage with those. But no, I guess it's just everybody is like, it's fine. Fire indoors.
If you recall our episode on the station nightclub fire, you may notice that this is an exact identical incident, except the acoustic panels are on the ceiling as opposed to on the walls.
Yeah, and the pyros being like hand carried by the like
I'll be right
guests.
back.
It just obviously like this killed a bunch of people. Because
I think 40 was the
yeah,
last death
which
toll
is
that I
which is
saw,
for a nightclub fire is not unusual because you have a lot of people trying to evacuate a crowded space. If the evacuation is in any way compromised, then all those people fucking die, right?
Also,
and
there were a lot of people just like taking videos of the fire on their phone, like, "Whoa, that's cool."
Yeah,
like, no,
which I don't want to
Like,
condemn because like you're out to have a good time, not to be in a fucking CSB video. You
true.
maybe you're drunk. How many times have you actually like seen a fire spread enough to know when it's dangerous? Like you don't know how fast this stuff spreads across acoustic insulation, and the answer is a lot. And as we did on Station Nightclub Fire, the fumes it emits are very noxious.
That is the one thing that you could like, if you take any lesson from this podcast ever, is if you see something on fire and you're indoors, you should get out of doors immediately.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck around with it. It's bad.
The real practical solution here is we need to dramatically increase the listenership of the podcast so that everyone can recognize these problems from the lessons we have taught them.
What we need is a kind of like, European film level of cultural funding to be like, the EU fund on fire prevention has hired us to do like safety PSAs. That's like every fire is an emergency. And it is check this shit out. It's your license to go ape shit. You're allowed to shout. You're allowed to scream. Encouraged even. It's a good idea to hit the fire alarm. Like,
I wonder if during Woke 2 we can get the CSB on board with this podcast.
Ooh, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, listen, CSB. They made podcasters in charge of the FBI, right? Yeah. Like, I should hope at the very least we could all get like deeply consequential jobs and ruin things in the other direction. But yeah, no, I just you gotta if you see a fire, especially in this kind of crowded environment, you have to not panic and freak out, but you have to panic and freak out,
Panic and freak out in a productive way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is get out of the building. Get everybody else out of the building.
Get everyone else out of the building. Yeah, exactly.
Pray to God they haven't like padlocked the fire exits because all nightclub owners are scum who would just like paint the image of a fire door onto a wall if they could get away with it.
I've always been like, I don't understand how nightclub owners get away with so much so frequently. I mean, it seems like I don't go into
the secret ingredient is bribes
for this reason. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe not in this specific case. It could be something else, but a lot of the time when you ask the question, the answer is bribes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. Know where the exits are, folks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I think 40 people were killed in this. Well, that's what the notes say. So probably
started the new year with a disaster,
a mass casualty event. Yeah. So anyway, if there's fire, leave.
It's true.
Another news.
Now, this is one we should really have Gareth back on to explain.
I was about to say there's a lot going on here.
Renfei is having the sort of terrible, horrible, very bad, no good set of days.
Yes.
There have been like 2 huge train crashes and then like 2 more minor ones.
Yeah.
In Spain in the space of a week.
Big one is this Irio high-speed train derailed between, oh God, I forget where it was.
I also don't remember. It was a train collision, I believe.
The one derailed and another train hit it after it derailed.
Yes, there was as Denzel put it, a wreck on a wreck. Apparently there was some kind of broken rail which caused the Irio train to derail. Irio is Frecciarossa's brand in Spain. That's the Italian state railway operator. And it derailed in such a way, like it wasn't a great derailment, to start out with, but it derailed in such a way that it fouled the adjacent track. And a second high-speed train came along, and that one derailed much worse.
Yeah, as you would imagine.
As you do.
And this killed, I think, 45 people at time of recording.
Yes.
Real bad. I mean, Spain has like the largest high-speed rail network in the world outside of China, I believe.
Yes.
Really?
And genuinely, like it's a huge point of like sort of national prestige and everything. But that also means that, you know, very occasionally you get sort of like bad accidents like this. And it's just like, you know, sort of ruinous. The other one is I think it was a retaining wall collapsed onto the track, derailed another high-speed train.
I think that was just a commuter train, but yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, I mean, as far as I know, that only killed the driver, but it like injured like, you know, 24 people, 3 people. So huge crisis in confidence. I know the Renfe union is calling for like a 3-day strike just to be like, we got to stop doing trains until we can figure out what the fuck's going on. But
yeah, I mean, you know, 4 derailments in like a week. You know, you're nearly doing American Class 1 railroad numbers there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like statistical clustering as far as anyone knows, but like it's shitty luck to start the year on, you know. It's like
it does feel like it's been a bad January.
We're not even fucking out of January yet.
No.
And the one thing we're celebrating is, hey, the US didn't invade Greenland yet.
Yes. Well,
and I will admit, like, they're still amassing forces up there. It's not off the table. Like, by the time this episode drops, people could be posting like, oh, remember January 22nd? How sweet and naive they were.
One of the funnier possible things to have happened, is a fucking Danish SF are in like an Operation Flashpoint situation out there, and like we just put out the episode that's like, hey, seems like he's backing down. Trump always chickens out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have.
There was also didn't make it into the slide deck, but there's also a train crash in Thailand when a crane fell onto a train, which that killed like 30-something people too.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then another crane collapsed the day later. Yeah, I mean these are all happening. Everything's happening all at once.
This is all Lennon's fault. I'm speaking for Liam here.
I do actually want. I mean, this is.
You're right. I'm just eating chips.
Probably not related to like the Spanish train crashes. But I do wonder if there's just going to be more operational errors this year as everybody's like psychic load of not knowing if we're going to World War III or not constantly kind of takes a greater and greater toll on them.
Yeah.
And more corners. And on top of all the corners that have already been cut for the past, like, you know, several decades, plus the 5 years since COVID where everything just got worse and everybody's doing 5 jobs. Like at a certain point, like the debts have to come due. And I'm wondering if like these things are just going to happen at higher and higher frequencies, where it's like, geez, we sure have compounded all of these failures into, you know, just a complete clusterfuck. Because everybody's gone insane, because it's kind of hard to like function normally when you're like, damn, we might have, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Maybe there'll be like a nuclear strike.
Well, the good news is that it's harder to fuck up doing a podcast in a way that kills someone. Like,
I think I could do it.
Well, we hope not. We do our best.
I am excited for when Macron nukes America. That will be a fun day.
A great war of justice that turns the American soil to ashes.
Yeah.
I don't think we're quite at nuclear war phase yet, but I mean, it does feel like things are kind of insane all the time, and maybe that's just my perspective as an American.
No, it feels that way here too.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody I talk
to...
to...
maybe you're like... I don't know our listeners. Maybe you're in Chengdu having like 8 different kinds of lesbian sex in one day, and you're sort of like looking up from your apartment that's like 40 degrees indoors with the air conditioning on full blast, and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is great. I want to move to Chengdu, but I genuinely think the heat would kill me.
In which case, can you please convince them to get cool about trans women real quick? Because I will learn Mandarin, please.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it. That was an hour.
What's Mandarin? What's Mandarin for that was the goddamn news?
You know what? I have no idea, but I have a drop that sounds like this instead.
All right. Here we are in the podcast finally.
Listen, a lot of shit's been happening, okay?
All right. Well, I made this slide to show you. Well, actually, the EPA made this slide, and then I modified it slightly.
I didn't notice him until now.
we have to understand how Deepwater Horizon, the movie with Mark Wahlberg, happened. We first have to ask how Deepwater Horizon, the disaster, happened. And to understand that, we have to ask, how do you drill for oil? Oil is.
I saw a movie about this. What you do is you take your son with you everywhere. And
no, the most frustrating fucking part of researching this episode for me, because I came into this like I know about cars. I didn't know about like the finer points of like drilling for oil. But I wanted to learn as much as possible in the span before we recorded, so I could try to give as accurate a depiction of what happened as possible, because accuracy matters to me. Which is why I've also started doing flashcards of the pronunciation of various river names in the Pacific Northwest.
Meanwhile, I'm just playing Turmoil. Like, oh yeah, you drill down, you avoid the fucking like rocks, easy.
The really frustrating part is that I realized I had heard most of this terminology in that stupid fucking movie with Bruce Willis, where they have to go blow up the asteroid. He actually did have some points about how hard it is to drill for fucking oil. I don't see why it would have applied in space, but they did actually get some drilling guys on the set of that movie, apparently. Anyway, so the oil is underground, so you got to dig to go get it. You do this with a combination of tools. The ones that I'm going to focus on here are going to be the drill bit, the drill string, and the collar.
Woof. Can I just say thank you so much for not including the photo of Drake's well?
Yeah,
first time we've talked about oil in 6 years that hasn't involved that photo of Drake's well.
Of course. So the bit is what you're actually going to think of when you're going to do oil drilling. You know, it's the grindy thing at the front that kind of like chews through the earth. And then the collar is essentially a big weighted pipe that sits atop the bit to help force it downward. The part that is going to be, I think, most interesting and going to help us the most here is talking about, next slide, please, the drill string. And because that's really what's going to let us actually dig downward. The string itself is basically a massive length of pipe that transmits torque from the rig above ground, and all the cutting fluid, because otherwise you can't just drill dry. You got to go in wet, I guess.
Yes.
You don't want to. There would be too much friction and heat otherwise. So you have to send down a cutting fluid, and this is known as drilling mud, so that you transmit that through the drill string down to the bit to allow you lubrication for when you're digging into the earth.
All right, so it's a big drive shaft and also a kind of like lube dispenser.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it helps keep the pressure so that the well stays open.
Yes. And yeah, so you basically, you can see in the second diagram here. There's you dig down a bit with a wider bit, and then you put in a length of pipe around the outside that you've just dug, and then you pour cement in behind that. And then you keep stepping these down further and further in as you dig further and further into the earth. So you have to have a rough idea of like how far you're digging. You can't just start and be like, we'll dig when we hit oil. You need to actually have like a target depth for this kind of thing, which people who know how to drill for oil probably knew this already. I did not before I was learning about how you drill
this is
for
some
oil.
real like dirt science.
Oh, it's insane.
It turns out it's always the most complicated one.
Yeah.
That's why they get paid the big bucks. Also, because it's, destroying the planet.
Yeah, it's like crazy evil. So I imagine that it's like to also make you feel less bad about the fact that you're like actively ruining the earth.
The pay is usually really good. Yeah.
Probably keeps you really busy as well, because you're like, oh, I'm destroying the earth, but it's like super complicated. I got to work really hard on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's not like the rest of us aren't, relying on this. It's like all of global commerce requires it. So I mean, I still feel like being the earth scientist who ends up going into oil and gas is like, it's still a few rungs below like Lockheed Martin like weapons developer. But probably not the.
I'm troubled by what Lockheed Martin wants from a dirt scientist. Like.
We'll get to that.
What the hell are they building in there?
They're finally building the land submarine.
Yes.
From the
dirt
Incredibles
already.
Yeah.
So anyway, as you dig down with the drill string, and you lower in this pipe that's called the casing into the borehole, and then you pump in a cement slurry into the void between the earth that's been dug and the casing that you've just installed. That area, that space that the cement is going to fill is called the annulus. And you do that basically to fix it in place. Cementing it, prevents contamination of fresh water that might be also like in the ground where you're trying to, dig oil up through. It prevents the upper formations of what you've dug from caving in and like collapsing onto the drill string and making it stop, or digging a giant cavern on accident that would greatly hamper your ability to get oil
stops
and
you from
gas
doing
out of the
any
ground.
like weird Minecraft stuff. Gives you a nice clean strong hole.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it provides a strong foundation to throw in the drilling mud, because you're going to need more of that and thicker as you dig deeper, because as Braz pointed out, like you're using that mud for a couple of purposes. One is like you're using it as a cutting fluid, but you're also using it as you get further down to keep pressure on the bottom of the hole and keep the oil and gas that you might be hitting from blowing out the top. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, because it'll deafen your son and then,
Yes.
set him on a sort of life against you in the end.
Yeah, and then, obviously it's like it also gives you a smooth bore, so you can like actually drop in the equipment you use to extract out
Smooth bore, technically making an oil well a shotgun.
You damn
Yes.
it, you beat me to it. It sounds like you beat Roz to it too.
It's more of a flamethrower when you get right down to it. But we'll get to that.
Rifling my oil well.
Yeah. So as you're digging down, you pump all the drilling mud down through the string, through the bit, and then it comes back up through the borehole that you've just dug. That's the blue inside this diagram that I stole, but I did credit. I don't know if it's actually gonna be visible in the thing, but it was a really useful diagram, and I was like, so thank you to
once you put CC by SA on there, it's like whatever, man. Like thank you.
I mean,
we appreciate it. You have left your car windows open and the stereo running. Like, thank you, C. Strickland.
Yeah, it's a good diagram. Because you pump out the bottom, and then that blue inside the pipe there is like that's all of your drilling mud that you're recirculating back up. You're pulling off all of the sediment, which is called the cuttings, and then you reuse the cutting fluid again. And as the pressure builds, that's what keeps down the oil that you're going to strike. And if the pressure of that fluid spikes, you're gonna like run into some issues. If it spikes too high, that's called a kick. If it spikes way too high, next slide, please.
It's gosh.
I just ate some. Here, look. See? don't worry why it looks like a condom packet. I don't.
I'm not gonna. Okay, sure, fine.
What I do is I like to stick my balls in the gushers, and then it's okay.
So once the well has been taking some like zinc and
it's got the zinc stack. Yeah,
exactly. How the fuck do you know about that, Liam?
I am too fucking online.
Well, aren't we all? But that's some deep knowledge. I'm not.
I am making Napoleon at Austerlitz look like a coward.
Okay, sure, fantastic. Victoria?
Right, yes.
I believe the exact quote I had put in here, which is going to sound really funny now, is "Eureka, baby." Yeah. Anyway, if you get too strong of a kick, it overwhelms the drilling mud and it will spray out the top of the rig, and it creates an oil gusher. This is what's technically known as a blowout. And this is how you struck it rich in like the early 1900s. Is, oh my god, this oil just spraying all over the landscape and like coating everything around it. It turns
like
out
a
that's
Looney
bad.
Tunes cartoon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's natural.
You
It's
don't
made of
actually want
plants.
the oil to do this. Oil
Because that's money,
Yeah.
Well, it's money. It's also flammable. And also like it's the picture here is of the spindle top gusher. that started the Texas oil industry. It sprayed like that for 9 days.
Oh dear.
And spilled 16 million gallons of oil. An eyewitness account of hitting a gusher from the era, it goes as follows, quote, "With a roar like 100 express trains racing across the countryside, the well blew out, spewing oil in all directions. The derrick simply evaporated. Casings wilted like lettuce out of water as heavy machinery writhed and twisted into grotesque shapes in the blazing inferno."
I'll say this, they could write back then, though.
I know. I really need to like bring that kind of thing. I need to do like a car review that's written like that.
You can review my wife's RAV4.
Yeah, what year is it?
24.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It is what you buy if you want a one unit of SUV. Look, I'm sorry.
Okay. I didn't fucking buy it.
I am fucking furious at the Toyota Motor Corporation ever since Akio went out to a racetrack in Japan wearing the Trump Vance shirt. He's dead to me. Toyota's dead to me. All their good cars were made in the 90s. Everything they make now sucks shit. Fuck you, Akio.
All right, no, I'll tell my wife. That's actually perfect for me. Thankfully, there's no problematic history with Volkswagen, so GTI or Golf R.
I just assumed that you would be taking this to Corinne and going, okay, so when can we buy the Viper?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Chrysler owns Jeeps. Jeep won the war. Or Stellantis, or whatever the hell's going on.
You're like one of those like fuds who's like, I'm not switching to 40 Smith & Wesson because 9 mil killed more fascists than anything else put together, right? Where it's like, yeah, therefore I'm gonna whatever Chrysler slop, I'll buy it.
They're technically like they're French now, and like the French make the best cars. Like
Stellantis.
I'll have you know, it was actually Gorky Automotive Design Bureau that won the war.
I drive the Dodge Viper. I knew Macron would get that way when I saw him in the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Calm down there, Grandpa. Joe Biden already exists.
we have Joe Biden at home, and it's Emmanuel Macron.
Next slide, please.
Oh, this man looks haunted.
Do you remember that tweet that's like, sees someone chewing gum, no need to hog the wad, boy? Give this citizen a chew?
Foundational humor. I quote that in my apartment like 3 times a month.
This guy looks like that.
That except it's dip. Oh, there's no smokeless tobacco on this airplane. Yeah, we'll find out, American Airlines. I'm getting to my destination or I'm pulling this slide. One of 2 options. You let me spit this cop or we're going to have some problems.
Anyway, this is James Abercrombie.
Roz, what are you doing over there?
What am I doing? I realized I screwed this up. There should be
the other thing
behind
here.
Yeah, hold on. How do I
thank you.
Send to, there we go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Amazing.
Sorry, a fire truck is driving down my street.
What kind of fire truck?
I really love an American fire truck. They're so like kid coded. They're like, they're huge and red. They're like twice as large as they need to be, and they make incredible noises. They're part of why we can't get
fucking pedestrian safe streets in Seattle, is because the fire every time they're like, hey, what if we installed like a separated curb so that we don't like have a death toll of bicyclists that resemble that of like the Battle of the Somme every year.
I need my big red truck with a massive American flag hanging off the back. A firefighter is a kind of Labrador to me, right? They're a kind of stupid dog.
Like there can be like, oh my god, a guy stubbed his toe, and you would think, okay, they'll bring out like the light duty ambulance. No, fucking full ladder response every single time.
Yes,
that would heal me instantly. Okay.
I do like seeing them, but also like at the same time, I recognize that it's it's kind of like cars, it's like, this is probably a huge societal ill, but I saw like an Eagle 4x4 sedan for sale today with a swapped in.
I saw that too. I said that to Jay.
yeah. With the straight 6 out of a Jeep Cherokee. And I was like, damn, that's bitching.
The thing is, if you bought like European fire engines, it would look wrong. They would do the same job so much better. Like you could have your nice pedestrianized streets and everything, but it would not be right. No. Like you're supposed to have the fucking Pierce Eagleburger fucking thing. Like you need it. That's part of what makes you the country that you are.
I know, and I'm urging any Chinese listeners, please convince them to get cool about trans women. I will move and I'll learn Mandarin. And you can, I don't know what you even need me for. I can't get a job here, but like I gotta imagine there's some sort of
review all of their sick new EVs.
The sick new EVs. I was just gonna
that
say
sounds sick. Honestly, please. Anyway, James Abercrombie is the guy, the haunted
inventor
man.
of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Well, only half of it.
He actually, he seemed like a nice guy. I didn't see anything horrifying about him.
He doesn't look it. He looks horrified. He looks like he comes from a fucking Twilight Zone episode.
He did like a ton of philanthropy, and he got together with his friend Harry Cameron, and the two of them invented and built a threaded ram device. You can see the patent drawing right there. It's called the Cameron Ram Type Blowout Preventer. And basically what it does is it clamps down on either side of the drill string, more sort of. It depends on the variation. I'll get into that. And like just shuts down all the fluid coming out. So it's a very simple design. You like the original one is just a threaded mechanism you turn, and it basically just provides a seal so that you don't have blowouts that like wreck all of your equipment. You get a kick, you close this, and then ideally, you won't have just like uncontrolled oil pouring from the earth. So the cutaway diagram here is the various types of like rams that are in use today, and most of these are like very similar, like to the original design. They're like a lot of them are hydraulic. They started changing to that in the 40s. But fundamentally, the design has always been kind of the same because the interest is that it just works. Because this is what prevents, the derrick from exploding. So you want something that is straightforward and going to work every time. So a cutaway here is the basic blind ram, which you pull out the drill and the piping and you just slam it shut. And that is the most basic kind. So you can just like shut off all flow. B, which has the circle cut out in the center there, is the pipe ram, which allows you to keep the pipe in, but you can shut down the space between the bore and the pipe. So this is going to go in like that's in a way its own like little annulus that it closes that area down, so you can keep everything in if you're still actively drilling, but it prevents backflow.
Right.
And then C is your oh fuck, something has gone wrong. That is your blind. That is your shear ram, which cuts through the pipe, cuts through the drill string, and it just closes it as fast as possible because otherwise, oil is going to spill everywhere. That is your last resort.
Because you were just like trapping a bunch of your equipment just like in the thing.
Oh yeah. That's all stuck down hole forever now.
Yeah,
I have created a kind of expensive bomb.
Yes. It's a pain in the ass, and you don't want to, technically speaking, like that, the one that's pictured as a shear ram, which cuts through the pipe. There's the blind shear ram, which just like, I believe cuts through slightly more. Difficult to get exact cutaway diagrams of all this stuff. Somebody can yell at me, but that's your basic concept, right? It's like the one that you use to cut through everything is like your day is going really bad. You're having a fucking January 2026 day on the rig.
Yes.
So, next slide, please. In the interest of making this episode not 9 hours long, which I have already failed at.
Fuck them fans. Die, hogs, die.
I am going to simply state that sometimes oil is underwater, and you need a big floating oil rig to dig down from. That's what this is. This is the Deepwater Horizon. It is a semi-submersible floating drilling platform.
There's a bunch of different kinds, and they all look weird as hell. This kind, it's got like big kind of mass like piers, like a big hull under the waterline that you can't see. What the ones that really fuck me up are the tension leg ones, where like you can see them off of Scotland being transported, and it's like they're too high in the water, and it's like, oh, it's got legs, fucking hell, like those go all the way down. Very, very frightening.
Very
to think
alien
about.
Calling the oil rig.
Yeah.
I got some gams on you, ha.
Yeah, so mostly you position this over where you want to like drill for oil, and then you drill for oil. Like there's a bunch more to it, but like again, the fact that this was a floating drilling platform is not really what actually caused the problem. It was just drilling for the oil. That's the main issue here. The fact that it floated just meant that it could go wrong much worse.
Yes.
So this one specifically, the Deepwater Horizon, had a maximum drill depth of 30,000 feet, with a maximum operating depth of 8,000 feet of water, which is terrifying to consider. It was built by Hyundai, and it was owned and operated.
It's like, hey, I want a semi-submersible drilling rig and a mid-sized family sedan.
Yes.
Holy shit, you're not going to believe this.
I guess we're making semi-submersible drill rigs now.
I also need an electric multiple unit for my commuter rail network.
That's not built very well. Then we'll shut the factory down. And then we'll complain to everybody else that it's somehow not our fault, even though we ruined everything.
Yeah, there's no word if Hyundai used child laborers to build this rig like they do EVs in Alabama, but that is why I'm no longer an automotive journalist. Anyway, this rig was owned and operated by
Victoria, and I have principles.
It's not so much principles. It's just like I'm just not,
I can't swallow that. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I really want to buy a K1 main battle tank.
The official vehicle of this podcast, there are two, is the K1 main battle tank.
Yeah, we all played Wargame Red Dragon, right? And we all played the campaign because we didn't have any friends, so we didn't want to play the multiplayer and get called slurs. And so we played the really repetitive, defensive, like South Korean one because it was the easiest one, and we got scared trying to play anything else. And we just sat all of our K1 tanks nice and sort of quiet in the forest, sniping at incoming North Korean tanks, and it was lovely.
1 Viper. Gen 1 Viper, side dump exhausts, 8-liter V10.
You know what my dream purchase is? You know what my dream purchase is? It's not the Viper.
All right, well, I guess it's been cool being friends with you, and I'll see you later.
I mean, listen, I would love a Viper, but here's my money no object thing right now. I saw like a Japanese guy who makes hand makes shoes. I saw the process, like start to finish, hand stitches everything. Like 500,000 yen, which I understand is a lot of money. Not money I would ever spend on a shoe, but they're beautiful. And
you look real cool doing it, though.
Oh, yeah, I look real cool wearing them, but I think my wife would beat me to death with a hammer, and then my bank would beat me to death with a hammer. So as it is, I just have to think about it forever.
I'm gonna get Roz a Nixie 2 watch. I've decided for his birthday.
Ooh, okay.
That's gonna be a big surprise now.
Yeah.
I bought myself.
All right, so he doesn't know the plan to get him. The plan is to get him the K1 tank, right?
Right, in which is contained the Nixie 2 watch. Yeah. We tried to do it the other way around, but we haven't mastered that yet.
Guys, I don't know how to drive this.
I mean, the thing is, it's sort of like, if you owe the bank $1 million, it's the bank's problem. If you don't know how to drive a tank, it's everyone around you's problem.
That's the damn truth.
I bought myself Corcorans recently. That was my fancy shoe purchase because I wanted to have big, stompy leather fetishist boots. Women seem to like them.
To the Patreon so that we can keep Victoria in boots.
I mean, it was like,
and to replace that person who was super transphobic and gross.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, was there?
Nope. They're banned.
Okay. Cool.
I sent them. Sent them from my personal Patreon account an incredibly cruel message, and then banned them from the podcast account.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Leave my friends alone, or you will be 1 hour, 24 minutes, 20 seconds in, shot, and then knelt over a ditch, and then shot again. Please continue.
Okay. Anyway, so this was owned and operated by Transocean on behalf of British Petroleum.
Hope it does.
What kind of hormones do you need for that?
Just straight oil. Just inject oil.
No,
I've been injecting this oil weekly, and I feel fucking terrible.
Roz, it's called cis oil. Can you be respectful, please?
0.24 milliliters of straight crude into the thigh, baby.
Oh, Texas sweet ain't got nothing on me. Let's do this.
That's how you transition to being Texan.
I'm going to Austin in a few weeks, and I'm just like, all right, when will you let me shoot him a shot?
Imagine you get like one of those little vials they give us our Ian, but it's just a barrel. This little glass barrel.
That would fuck. Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I do my oil sublingually.
Anyway, BP was leasing this. This is crucial because it means that it costs them money when they are digging holes with this. BP is actively spending money to dig holes. And as you may have remembered from the last episode about BP, which was, yes, the last episode I was on. I've been on an anti-BP kick lately. I don't know why. They don't like spending money.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yes.
So in 2010, this oil rig, this semi-submersible floating drilling platform, I can't call it an oil rig, was 48 miles off the coast of Louisiana, researching what was known as the Macondo prospect, which was a oil vein with a specific lease they had from the U.S. federal government. That was roughly 5,000 feet beneath the surface of the Gulf of Mexico. The goal was to dig the borehole, tap the oil, and then you cement over the hole you've dug for another rig to come in later and actually extract from. So this is just your exploration rig.
It's your little like Pathfinder. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're going to have somebody else come later and actually like bottle this and, sell it. You're just trying to dig the hole. Just to make sure that we have every base covered. Halliburton was also here. They were doing the concrete work.
They make good luggage.
Halliburton?
Okay, Zero Halliburton makes cases. I've always kind of wanted one of the attaché cases.
I tried to convince my wife to let me buy one today.
It's like, what the hell use would you have for an attaché case? And then you have to go to the woman that you love and you go, what if I have to do some spy stuff?
I got that same lecture.
That's a good point.
So as it turns out, she's like, I don't get nice luggage because you're just going to destroy it anyway, Liam, which like, A, true, B, shut up.
my like main luggage is like a Pelican case that is covered in WTIP stickers, has been like bounced off of every airport tarmac in the world. I love it to pieces.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just realized I'm the wife. My wife is the one who comes to me and is like, hey babe, check this out. I'm like, we don't need that, love. I love you.
Like, what if though?
What if? You know how many times I have to go to fucking Disney World?
My feet had to be wet.
That's what the nuclear football is made.
My feet had to be wet all winter for me to convince myself that I did actually need to get a new pair of boots.
Okay, that seems like someone else's problem.
It seems like you know what wouldn't solve that problem but would make you feel better is a Zero Halliburton attaché case.
The fact that this Patreon makes money is a goddamn absolute fucking miracle.
What you're enabling is
you're enabling me to pay my rent. Thank you.
Thing as coveting the thing. How many tabs do I have open of shit that I want and will never be able to afford?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, next slide, please.
ADHD is a curse.
I don't care.
Hi, it's Justin. So this is a commercial for the podcast that you're already listening to. People are annoyed by these, so let me get to the point. We have this thing called Patreon, right? The deal is you give us $2 a month, and we give you an extra episode once a month. Sometimes it's a little inconsistent, but it's $2. You get what you pay for. It also gets you our full back catalog of bonus episodes, so you can learn about exciting topics like guns, pickup trucks, or pickup trucks with guns on them. The money we raise through Patreon goes to making sure that the only ad you hear on this podcast is this one. Anyway, that's something to consider if you have $2 to spare each month. Join at patreon.com/WTYP pod. Do it if you want. Or don't. It's your decision, and we respect that. Back to the show.
It's a BP episode, so I'm gonna get to the part where everyone knew this was coming.
Yep. Say the line, Bert, and then where's your cat?
Oh, I don't know where. Oh, he's sleeping on the table behind me.
Oh, you can't wake him up.
It's
never.
No,
mind.
you kidding me?
11 p.m. Do you know where your cat is?
He's just like this.
Yeah, he's passed the fuck out.
My parents have a cat named Margot who looks like a cow. She's very cute. She has discovered. I'm not done yet. She has discovered. Margot has discovered that if she lays like I can't even like that. She gets belly rubs, so she'll tolerate belly rubs for exactly 15 to 20 seconds, and then you just get fucking annihilated. She just starts biting you. So she's like, "Rub my belly. I'm so sweet and innocent." Fuck that cat. I love that cat.
She's so real.
Yeah. Please continue. I'm sorry for interrupting you or whatever.
Oh, why would you? No, I'm fairly certain I have to defer to you. Well, I don't know. It depends on the order of who's It depends on who's the order of who's boss here.
Yeah.
I think you're my direct report, or I'm yours. I don't remember.
I believe that we all have to file into Corinne.
So BP knew it was going to happen.
So weeks before the events of this episode, there was a confidential survey commissioned by Transocean that found that workers were concerned about the safety practices on board the vessel, and they were pretty certain they were going to get, actual reprisals if they reported mistakes or other problems.
Yeah.
The survey raised concerns, quote, about poor equipment reliability, which they believed was a result of drilling priorities taking precedence over maintenance, end quote. The survey found that, quote, many workers entered fake data to try and circumvent the system. As a result, the company's perception of safety on the rig was distorted.
Who amongst us?
Amazing. Just like big thumbs up. Yeah, everything's fine. Please don't fire me.
That's what I do on our safety reports too.
Yeah, but ours we don't work with like petroleum much.
No. Drake's well.
Emails showed that as early as the second week of March in 2010, and the disaster did not take place till April, BP was enlisting help from a Houston-based firm that advised energy companies on how to respond to oil spills, just because they kept having close calls.
Jesus Christ!
Come on, really?
Yeah. By April, this well, digging this well is way overdue. It is costing BP millions of dollars because the rig is leased from Transocean and it's not owned. So every day they're out there, I couldn't find an exact number, but it's estimated between $500,000 to $1 million to BP in costs for extra leasing fees, basically. So imagine going over mileage on your 3-year-old crossover, but instead it's $1 million every time you put an extra mile on it.
Yep.
By April 9th, the well drilling itself was complete, which left the decision for how the last bit of the well should be lined. Now, if you remember, there was that slide a couple slides ago about how you put in the casing and then you throw in the cement. That was oversimplified. There are a lot of ways you can do this, especially when you are at 18,000 feet, below the earth. The physics gets a bit weird, and you kind of want a lot of redundancy. There were two options for
5,000 feet of water.
Yeah. There were two options.
Just again, you are sitting on top of a gigantic bomb that you have made, and every day you put some more dynamite in the bomb.
Yes.
Yeah. Learning about what like methane does when it goes from 18,000 feet below the seabed to sea level through a pipe was crazy. It doesn't like doing that.
The fluid dynamics of making stuff do things it really would rather not. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so by April 9th, they finished drilling the well. So they'd actually, dug all the way down, but they gotta case the hole that they've dug, basically, so that they can get equipment in and out and actually, extract oil. So there's two options. Just put in a liner and a second tube called a tieback that helps prevent annular flow, around the outside of the pipe in case of a kick. Or just do a single liner and rely on the cement job to hold. Everybody that I could see, there were a lot of emails for this. I mean, there are 6 different post-incident reports. The White House commissioned one. Obama was doing speeches about it. I don't know if for those of you who are younger, this is horrifying to conceive of because this happened in 2010. But like, it was a really big deal.
This is back when environmentalism was a real thing. Yeah.
And Obama was president, so it was kind of like, the United States was perceived as a relatively stable place.
Dumbass.
And I think everybody was, we were all kind of reeling from the sort of institutional complacency about ruining a bunch of people's lives that we saw in 2008 during the global financial crisis. So like,
Victoria,
there was a lot of,
How old are you?
Me?
Yes.
I am 30.
Okay.
So I was
continue.
I was 15 when this happened.
Okay.
And it is I started reading the local newspaper, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, when I was 12 because I'm on this podcast. Like, obviously, I was not going to be like a
things
popular,
you have to be like
healthy child as a kid. But I do remember this.
Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, you're not
sorry.
wrong.
I'm sorry, Nova. Come on.
Not wrong.
We've bitched about our moms way too much for me to have any illusions.
My mom just called me in the middle of recording and she was like, well, you told me to call you. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I forgot.
Well, I don't, you might have had a healthy childhood. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just the trans hosts. If you want to be transgender and well, there's your problem.
Digression.
Your mom has to really fuck you up bad.
Is
that fair? Is that true?
My mom is a saint. Literally, she's in my phone as Saint Anne. And if you're mean to my mother, I will gut you like a carp. But I'm sorry about your childhood, Victoria, and I'm sorry about Cleveland.
That's fair. That I thought that I was gonna get away without getting roasted for that, but that's fair, honestly.
Roz and I used to live with a woman from Cleveland, and I always pitied her immensely.
Yeah, Cleveland during the great financial crash was not super happening.
Yeah, I brief digression because we're already an hour, 35 minutes, 48 seconds in. I went to Thanksgiving with said aforementioned person Ross and I used to live with, and she ran a turkey trot, which is a thing that should be illegal.
What?
A turkey trot. You run a 5K the morning of Thanksgiving. Don't ask me why. I don't run. I'm built for power, not
insane.
Speed.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
No.
And
just like the Dodge Viper.
Yes. Shut up.
Running in general should be avoided. That's why God invented the bicycle.
That's right. Or the Segway, if you prefer. And I was with her mom because we did the 1K fun walk. It was not fun, but we did it. And she was looking for her daughter, and I was like, oh, there she is. And there her daughter was, the woman in question that we used to live with, looking about as miserable as a human being has ever looked. She goes, how did you pick her out? I was like, you know how many times I've seen that face directed at me? All right. Now that I go back into my my hobble.
Anyway, yeah, I was 15 when this happened, so there were a lot of like post-incident reports. There was a lot of research. So basically, this is every single email that BP had sent for the past 5 years about this project was uncovered, and everybody got to go through.
Back when there was still an EPA.
Yeah, there was
Thanks,
an EPA.
Nixon.
Well, just because the perception was the U.S. was better, it was pretty poorly managed. But we'll get to that. You have strapped the fuck in for a 4-hour podcast episode, and you better be goddamn ready for us to keep going.
My wife
still
is
have
gonna
not
come
hit the incident
downstairs with her face just like this, like, yes, sweetie, this is what pays the bills.
We go back to the email chain of like how do we do this? Do we do the tieback method that everybody thinks we should do, or do we just cement it and pray? Because you're 18,000 feet below sea level, and of course every single qualified person was like, we should do the tieback just to be safe, and by safe I mean like even somewhat reasonably confident this will work. However, not running the quote from an email from some asshole. I had it written down and now I lost it, but somebody at BP who didn't go to prison for this.
Fuckface Jones.
Not running the tieback saves a good deal of time and money.
Oh boy.
So on April 15th, BP estimated that using a liner instead of a single string of casing would add $7 to $10 million in the completion cost. And again, a lot of that is because they are trying to get this done as fast as fucking possible, because every single minute they are on the Deepwater Horizon is costing them money because they are leasing it. So 6 days before the events of this episode, Brian Morrell, a BP drilling engineer, emails a colleague, quote, "This has been a nightmare well, which has everyone all over the place," end quote. Always a good thing to have read into the congressional record.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
April 15th, Morrell informs Halliburton executive Jesse Gagliano that they are planning to use 6 centralizers. So basically, when you're casing the last bit of this bore, you want to keep the casing itself centered in the cement you're setting, best as I can tell. And this is they're cementing like quite a bit of it at once. And they have simulation software to see how many of these they should use, because every single one you use is more equipment and more money and more time to set up. And so you want to go to with as few as possible. So the Halliburton executive says, hey, you should use 21, because any less than that and we're simulating, it's not going to actually set right, because the concrete is like 18,000 feet below the seabed.
Yeah, but what if we did it cheaper?
Morrell says in an email, in a reply,
I don't like that Victoria had that response ready to go. I will say that.
Yeah. It's too late to get any more product on the rig. Our only option is to rearrange placement of these brackets 6 centralizers, end quote. Mm-hmm. So fuck you. We're going to use 6. Like, who cares? We'll make it work.
Yeah, less than a third of the thing that you should be using. But it's fine, though, because it just will be.
Gagliano from Halliburton, then recommends, like, okay, well, at least circulate the drilling mud, the dense lubricant / pressure segment that you've got at the bottom of this borehole to keep the oil from rupturing out. Like, hey, circulate it from the bottom of the well all the way up at least once to get rid of all the gas pockets, because then it will help like the cement set. And BP doesn't do that. They're just like, we'll cycle it a little bit, and then they just kind of like, nah, fuck it, it's fine.
Listen, ADHD can strike at any time. I'm 5 tabs deep into eBay for like used 0 Halliburton Attache cases.
Pick me up while you're there.
Yeah,
thanks, bud.
And of course, this well has been so unstable to dig, and the pressure inside it has been so inconsistent that they are using a harder to control nitrogenated foam cement to set the annulus of this casing, which is harder to control and much, much more challenging to get to set right. So you probably would think to yourself, like, hey, we should probably be really certain this cement worked, right?
It's like the Swiss cheese failure model. It's like watching someone with a hand drill go to like a block of Edam, and be like, it didn't have holes until you drew all of them yourself.
I didn't get to use the image in this diagram because all the PowerPoints I could find were too low resolution, but they were 8 fucking slices of cheese in their post-incident report for this. It is so many layers of failure. It's incredible. Next slide, please.
Imagining this nitrogenated foam cement, and it's just an ordinary cement, but they use Guinness as the
just every time you go to a nice restaurant now, they're like, oh, and this is served on our nitrogen foam cement. And I'm like, huh?
We want plates.
So 7 a.m. April 20th, 2010.
Uh-oh.
BP cancels the cement bond log test because it would have taken 9 to 12 hours and would have cost them a little over $100,000, about $128,000.
Time is money, in a very literal sense. Time is money.
By canceling that test, they saved a bit over $100,000. So congratulations. That was, good investment. We will find out later how well that paid off for them. But they were like, no, we're not going to do the cement bond log test. And this may not have caught the cement issues, but it would have just been another level. Canceling this, roughly 12 hours before you cause the greatest ecological disaster in human history is what one would I call a bad look. So they do an acoustic check, which I don't know how that works. I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody can tell me in the comments.
Well, it's a lot like a regular check, but it has more of a kind of slowed down, more intimate vibe. You feel a bit kind of closer to the guy doing the check, and it's got a kind of richer, warmer tone.
Yeah, this next well we're digging is shoegaze.
I would imagine they're just doing some kind of something with like, either ultrasound or even just regular sound, listening for the echo, how faint it is. They're going to be able to determine some amount of information from whatever's going on with the cement way down hole.
This is just bullshit regular sound.
Yeah.
So they
We're using all three kinds of sound: regular, ultra, and Bakersfield.
They do a positive pressure test where they pressurize the inside of the well to make sure that the bore, like the casing itself, is good. They're like, yeah, it's fine, it's good. At this time, I couldn't get exact hours, probably sometime around noon. A bunch of BP officials gather on the rig to celebrate 7 years without an injury on the Deepwater horizon.
Right.
Join us for a hubris party.
So there is one before they can pull all the drill. So at this point, the well is dug. They've got their casing in place. They got the cement in the annulus. They have capped the bottom of the well, so they can move this rig off. They have to do one more test, which is a negative pressure test. So there's a lot of ways in which this failed, and it requires a very thorough understanding of how this test works, so it is outside the purview of this podcast. But allow me to state that it failed really obviously on like several levels, and several people seemed to notice this, but for some reason it just never went up the chain of command. Nobody ever actually like raised the concern high enough that they stopped what they were doing and were like, oh god, the cement at the base of this that is keeping all of the oil from exploding outward and destroying the ocean didn't work. There's oil coming up. There's the negative pressure. We can't get no pressure in here. That means still pressure. It's because there's oil coming in from both the sides of the well and also like from the plug at the base. But no, again, oops,
whoops.
Yeah. So let's just keep going. So what you do at this point, if you're going to keep going, is you replace the drilling mud that's inside that last segment of the well you've dug with a mixture of seawater. And, you pull out all the mud, you strain out all the tailings or whatever. I don't know if they keep it for reuse later. Some of it they kind of pour overboard. But
it's just really the ocean is the kind of solution to all of your problems on one of these rigs. It's just like, well, we need something to put in this. How about seawater? Well, we need something to put this in. How about seawater?
Yes.
The solution to pollution is dilution. I think that's right. I'm sure that's what they meant. Just dump it into open ocean.
Certainly.
But as you'll remember, the drilling mud is what's keeping the pressure on the base of this. So when you remove the drilling mud and you start replacing it with much like lighter seawater, the oil is going to get a chance to press upward. So you will see this graph. And this graph is showing when the oil and gas starts entering the well bore and inexorably marching upward toward the Deepwater horizon. Because the concrete has failed, the oil is rushing up the pipe through the riser, up 18,000 feet, and then another 5K to the surface of the ocean, where it will, eventually start popping out the top of the Deepwater horizon. There are plenty of as early as like 9 p.m. There are plenty of indications of a very severe kick, and again, everybody just misses it. It seems to be human error. People were overworked to death on this thing because they were trying to get this thing done as fast as possible. But they just never seemed to be like, oh, there's a kick, we should shut this off. Probably because they were like, oh, we're done. Let's get the hell out of here. So from the bottom from where the hole actually begins at 18,560-ish feet below the surface of the ocean to sea level, methane can expand by about 100 times. So you start getting some in at the bottom of this, and by the time it's like at the riser, it is massive and extremely fast. People aboard the Deepwater Horizon would later compare it to a freight train.
It's sort of less like a bomb and more like a rocket at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
At 9:41 p.m. On April 20th, 2010, a geyser of seawater erupts 230 feet high from the top of the rig. This is the pressure pushing all of the water out, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's a problem." So they close the annular preventer, but it is too late because there's already oil and gas inside the riser, and also, crucially, the annular preventer does not work. So this is there's basically an inflatable donut that goes around the outside of the pipe itself that is meant to keep anything that is like flowing up the annulus, it would be caused by like a concrete failure from rising upward, and it just didn't work. And again, crucially, even if it had worked, they already have like methane inside the riser, so that's already coming up. It's too late. It keeps going. They keep having a geyser of shit flow out of the top of the rig, and they're like, all right, let's close the pipe ram, and that closes and seals, but it's too late because the seawater geyser is now turning to drilling mud, and then all of the methane that was 23,000 feet below them has finally made its way up. And instead of pouring this mix overboard, which is like the emergency get this the fuck out of here immediately, they have it routed to a gas and mud separator, which is completely overwhelmed immediately and starts spewing oil directly onto the floor of the rig, and all the methane gas is like at the level of the machinery. And there's a bunch of running diesel engines, and as you may remember from the last episode, British Petroleum and running diesel engines.
Oh no!
There are bad things that happen when you give diesel engine combustible air.
Sucks in whatever it is around it.
Next slide, please.
Oh god. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. At 9:56 p.m. on April 20th, 2010, the methane ignites, and the Deepwater Horizon is engulfed in a series of explosions. It's kind of unclear what exactly happened because it all went real quick.
That's bad, like in itself, that you're like, yeah, we can't pick back through an exact sequence of events here because this is like just fused.
Well, yeah, and it's like
itself,
there's a bunch of methane everywhere aboard the rig. Something. All it needs is one spark, right? Then the whole thing goes up, and then everything explodes. Because again, the deck of it is coated in oil and shit from the oil gas separator getting overwhelmed, and there's so much. There's still stuff coming out of the riser. So the explosion kills 11 workers and injures 17 people. The rig loses all power from the explosion. At this point, the Deepwater Horizon would be a bad disaster, right? Like 11 people are dead. It is a many hundreds of $1 million valued, extremely high technology drilling rig. It would be still worthy of an episode, probably.
Yeah, yes. But that's like what, like a tenth of the number of people who died on like Piper Alpha.
Yeah. And at this point, it should all be roughly over. Well, actually. Yeah, it should be all roughly over because, the loss of power should trigger the final emergency brake. This whole disaster is averted. Just as an aside, I have this in here and I probably could have worked it in better, but just to like clarify how fucking bad it sucks to work on this oil rig, 7 of the 11 dead workers had pulled 24-hour shifts the week they were killed.
Fucking Jesus.
Yep.
No
I'm
thanks.
never going to complain about a 4-hour podcast again. I mean, I am. I'm lying. I absolutely am. So but like, still.
Jesus, I don't want to be a roughneck.
Yeah, no, and it was just like, and everybody aboard is kind of like, this shit is clearly not going well, and people are cutting corners at every possible opportunity, and and a lot of it also is like you kind of get why people miss so many warning signs in these disasters, because they are overworked to death and they cannot comprehend the information that is in front of them. Now, next slide, please. All right, so this is why I had to talk about Abercrombie and Fitch earlier. Was at the base of the seafloor is this massive mechanism, and this is a series of blowout preventers connected in a string, essentially. Up top, you have your 2 annular preventers, one of which they had inflated before the explosion and had failed completely, and that's like, your inflatable donut that keeps oil from coming up the annulus. And then beneath that, in the lower section of this, you have 5 separate blowout preventer rams of different intensity. One of these is converted to a test ram. There's still 5 in there. Basically,
it's on a scale of 1 to 5, how badly are you screwed?
Yes. Right. Yes. It's like, so the pipe ram is when you're like, oh shit, okay, we should close this down. And that, worked temporarily, but there was already so much methane and gas inside that it may have worked temporarily. I don't actually know if that one worked temporarily. It doesn't matter. It went worse later. But, at this point, all of this segment had been bypassed to cause the initial explosion, because like the methane and gas was already in the riser, and the riser is the segment of pipe between the floating platform and this. And so by the time it's in the riser, there's nothing else you can really like do about it. There's no more blowout preventers or whatever. You're supposed to have caught this down here. Like this is when you would have had a chance to stop the kick, because you would have engaged something down here, at 9 o'clock when you notice the kick, versus, when there's seawater coming out of the top of the Deepwater horizon, because then you're fucked. So this one failed in a funny way, but it still kind of worked. I mean, is this funny at this point? I don't know.
I think so. It can be.
The podcasting delirium is setting in. It's hard to tell what's humorous.
They're gonna do some funny stuff to this thing coming up. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So when the Deepwater horizon is rocked by a series of explosions and loses all power and communications to this device at the seafloor 5,000 feet below it, this is supposed to have a like dead man switch that chokes off the oil supply immediately with the blind shear ram, which cuts through everything.
The big like guy with an axe.
Yes. This is the oh fuck, everything is fucked. And so there are multiple redundancies inside this mechanism. There's a kind of blue box and a yellow box, and these are their transponder units essentially that contain solenoids that would engage the blind shear ram. Each of those boxes contain a 27-volt battery and 2 9-volt batteries. One of the 27-volt batteries is completely dead, so that one was just not working at all. I think that was the blue box. And then the yellow box was wired so incorrectly that the solenoid was never actually going to physically be able to trigger to fire.
Been at work as an oil rig electrician for 3 straight days. I'm wiring shit to shit I don't even know what it is. I'm soldering. I'm trying to solder stuff to the ocean.
Yeah. And luckily, however, one of the 9-volt batteries has gone dead. And so the mechanism still works because it's not aware the 9-volt battery has gone dead. And so the solenoid can still magically function. The CSB video does a really good job explaining it. It's not materially that important to how this disaster happened. It's just kind of like, wow, they really were not.
It's kind of
this was the
so bad to be like, you fucked up so bad at work that it's not even consequential because it looped back around to being fine.
Yeah, well, and also like it was kind of one of those things where this was like the made on a Friday fiat of blowout preventers, which you generally don't want, but anyway, it doesn't matter because it still somehow, by the grace of God, manages to get the blind shear ram to close. The pipe is severed. The dead man switch worked. There is perhaps still proof of a loving God. Maybe. No, actually, there isn't.
No. Wrong.
And this is why it was ultimately like immaterial. Like, yes, the blind shear ram did actually work in that it fired. However, the pipe inside this mechanism, because there is a pipe all the way up through the center of this that all of these rams operate upon. And that pipe has been under such immense pressures with the like various pipe rams firing and like the amount of like methane gas that's been in here that it has caused the pipe itself to buckle. And it has bent so that it is no longer really well in the path of the blind shear ram. The blind shear rams are generally designed to cut through like a weaker section of pipe, and it needs to be like aligned correctly. And that's not what happens here. The pipe bends, the blind shear ram like misses, and so now the blowout preventer doesn't work at all.
Jesus,
so
okay.
Now the oil is like spraying into the riser at this point in time. And of course there's like, Deepwater horizon up above is like on fire. So next slide, please.
A fire that is going to keep going more or less indefinitely because it is being constantly fed with fuel.
Yes.
Yeah. On April 22nd, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon sinks after burning for 2 straight days. It does appear that they didn't coordinate the firefighting response to this super well. Again, it probably wouldn't have mattered a ton. But it sinks. And you will remember, so at this point, the Coast Guard is like, we don't think there's an oil spill. We think everything's okay. And that is because it is still going up the riser. However, when this sinks, it breaks the riser. This is when it's like, okay, we have an oil leak. It's probably fine though, right? Like it's not gonna be a big deal. BP immediately sends like a deep sea submersible vehicle under the ocean to try to close the blowout preventer. And this of course fails because the blowout preventer is closed. It functioned as best it could, which is not well at all, but it's not a matter of the fact the dead man switch didn't get activated. And BP's like, it's probably like 5,000 barrels a day. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Meanwhile, internally, they're sending emails. They're like, oh my God, we're leaking 100,000 barrels a day in the ocean. The true number is closer to about 60,000 barrels a day, which is, I believe, roughly to 4 full Olympic swimming pools per day.
40,000 barrels of oil between friends.
60,000 barrels of oil.
Oh my! I was saying the difference, 60 to 40.
Oh yeah, No, I mean, a little rounding error here and there never hurt anybody. So
government work.
This leads us to the next phase of the Deepwater Horizon fiasco, which is, it's bad enough that this exploded through a extremely ridiculously obvious to see corner cutting, and has killed almost a dozen people. But now there are 4 Olympic swimming pools worth of oil being dumped into the Gulf of Mexico every single day at a depth of 5,000 feet below the surface of the ocean.
Oh my God!
Which is a little difficult to get to.
Yeah. How do you plug this damn thing?
Yes, this is. I will now hand the keys of the podcast over to Roz. Please take this Dodge Viper of a episode and slam it directly into a wall at terminal velocity.
Oh yeah. So okay, here's 2 vessels that are going to be important. Here in front is the Discoverer Horizon. This is it's a drill ship, right? Back here is the Q4000. This is a drill maintenance, or it's a well maintenance doohickey thingy. It looks like a tiny oil platform.
Yeah, I work on the doohickey.
I work on the thingamabob. Yeah, there's a lot in this industry. There's a lot of thingamabobs and doohickeys.
Hell yeah!
So once they figure out, right, the blowout preventer is fucked. Everyone knew fixing this is going to be a long process, right? The correct permanent method to sealing this well is to drill a relief well, right? With the whole other drilling rig. So you're going to drill several thousand feet down and then several hundred feet sideways. Hopefully you'll hit the well.
So you're trying to tap into it to relieve the... Okay.
Yes.
Sure, man. Yeah, that sounds dumb as shit. Let's do it.
Now you've relieved pressure off the original well, so it's easier to seal the top. And since you have control over the relief well, you can pump high pressure mud and then cement down there to seal that well from the bottom. Right?
This is bomb surgery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're trying to hit.
Give me the suit.
You're trying to hit a dry spaghetti with a wet spaghetti, right?
And also the dry spaghetti is on fire.
Yeah.
Yes. So this process actually starts almost immediately. There's drill rigs in place by May 2nd to try and get these relief wells done. They do 2 of them at once in case one of them misses, right? The trouble
are they more or less going in blind here?
So I don't know exactly how this stuff works. I think there's like highly accurate accelerometers that sort of let you know where the end of the drill string is. I am not an expert in this.
No, that's fine. No worries.
Yeah. So this is going to be a months-long high precision process. You can't really rush it. At this point, it would look really bad if they rushed it anyway, right? So you need some stopgaps in the interim, because not only are you damaging the environment this whole time, you're losing product, right?
Can't have
And
that.
like a lot of things in oil extraction, services like these, controlling out of control wells, they're not in the purview of the oil companies themselves. They're provided by smaller, specialized firms. So the BP and Transocean and Halliburton, they call in the professionals, right? Joe Bowden's Wild Well Control of Spring, Texas. Yee-haw!
I was about to say before you went on to the slide, this is the ultimate level chud job, right? Like, is to be the guy, the one guy who can do the thing, and the thing is tough. It's manly. And you gotta go to some suit in an air-conditioned office and spit on his floor and be like, you're gonna pay me $58 billion that I'm gonna direct immediately to the Trump campaign.
Entirely paid in a mixture of Copenhagen wintergreen and gold bullion.
Guy speaking with an accent you haven't heard before, saying he is gonna build a house out of vipers.
He makes Foghorn Leghorn sound like JFK.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just gonna say, people who follow me on Blue Sky or whatever probably see that I occasionally put together like cowgirl fits and stuff because I lived in Idaho for long enough for it to do actual like psychological damage to me. I would literally kill somebody with my bare hands for that belt buckle.
Me too.
That goes insane.
Oh no,
holy damn.
So hard.
This is apparently part of a series. They have a lot of them. I have some more later on. Don't worry. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna need my wife to step in and be like, babe, this is my Halliburton briefcase.
This is my Joe Bowden's Wild Well Control belt buckle.
Oh Jesus, they do have a series.
Yeah, you get
and
like
these are incredible.
Like
so this one looks like it was engraved onto the side of Hoover Dam.
$50?
You can
$40?
buy,
oh fuck! Sign my ass up.
You can buy a polo shirt and it's only an XL, which sounds about right.
Yeah. There's a lot of companies that do this sort of thing. They are in fact all like that because it takes a certain kind of person to see a 200-foot column of flame coming from an oil well and say, "Yep, I can fix that."
Kind of like a prince of chuds.
Yeah. So they have an idea of how to. This is not a permanent cap. This is a stopgap, right? They build this thing. This is the containment dome, right? So in order to understand the containment dome, we have to understand the situation on the seafloor, right? Here's the seafloor. Here's the blowout preventer. It's a box. Here's the well down here. That's underground. Let me add some lines here so everyone knows this is the ground, right? And then here's a fish. Right, so that's the water. Okay, so on top of the blowout preventer, normally there's the riser. It goes straight up. Well, that's not the case anymore. The oil rig sank, so it now goes like that. Right, it's on the ground. Right, most of the oil is going up through the blowout preventer where a blowout was not prevented. Some of it leaks out of here. But most of it goes down the riser and out over to here, where there's a lot of it coming out the end of the riser, right? So there's also a third leak somewhere. Apparently that was plugged really early. I don't know where that was. So, the idea here, right? We're going to put a containment dome over the end of the riser. So this was constructed by, again, Joe Biden's, excuse me, not Joe Biden's. No, they'd kill me if I said that.
It's funny.
Joe Biden's Wild Well Control of Spring, Texas. Yee-haw.
No, but you're muted.
Yeah.
No.
Joe Biden's Wild Wings of Danforth, Connecticut.
Oh God. This was designed.
Yeah.
The whole thing goes over the end of the leaking riser pipe, right? That's what this big door-shaped opening is for. And then it's going to sink into the ground, right? Until it reaches these big flaps here, that's going to stabilize it, right? Everything's going to be in place, and all of the oil and the gas is going to go up, and it's going to come out this pipe at the top and go to be stored on a ship on the surface, right?
I mean, shit. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So there was a concern here that under high pressures and low temperatures, right, these things called methane clathrates could form, right?
Oh,
and
boy.
sort of a full explanation of this is outside the scope of the podcast. But essentially, while water isn't going to freeze in this environment because it's too high pressure and water expands when it freezes, it's very unique in the world of chemicals in doing that. Methane also isn't going to freeze in this environment because its freezing point is very, 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 very low, right? Water and methane together will readily freeze into a weird methane-bearing ice, which is only stable at high pressure and low temperature.
Clathrates. Yeah, I love these things. Water, one of the only effective carbon capture and storage systems besides trees, in the sense that, like, one of the things that climate scientists are really worried about in terms of like tip over points is methane clathrates melting and releasing all of that methane.
Oh yeah, that's the fun scenario where we go to like plus 12C in like a month.
Yeah. That's the real like sort of nuclear bomb of climate.
Why would you tell me this? I don't sleep well as it is.
I give and I take away. I also just texted you a link to an eBay store full of vintage belt buckles. 90% of them are oil related.
I need all of these belt buckles.
Okay, I'll put it in the fucking Zencaster chat. God damn it.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing about the clathrate gun hypothesis is it's probably not real.
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah. So
holy shit, you can get a Kenworth belt buckle.
That's fucking ADHD sick. Here.
So
sorry.
The formation of clathrates was anticipated. As such, there was the tube that brought the oil up, but there was a second tube surrounding it that brought surface water down, and it would circulate, warm water would circulate up here and prevent the formation of clathrates, right? But apparently it wasn't enough warm water. So the containment dome clogged up with methane and ice, and it floated away.
This is the last time in history that there was a problem caused by the ocean being too cold.
Yes. So it's May 8th now. This has not worked. Which brings us to the next attempt. The next attempt is the pipe, right? Here's the end of the riser.
They appear to be trying to cut it with a big pair of scissors.
That comes later.
Oh, Jesus.
So the drilling companies take back over with, okay, this seems like a fairly obvious stopgap solution, right? What if you took a smaller pipe and put it in the big pipe with a big stopper around it and siphoned off the oil, right? So they put a 6-inch pipe in the 21-inch riser with a stopper around it, all using ROVs, which is very difficult because ROVs kind of suck for this sort of stuff. They managed to put a mile of pipe inside the pipe by May 14th, and they're able to siphon off most, but not all, of the leaking oil, or what they think is most, because they don't know what the flow rate is yet. This is not a long-term solution, but it works a bit until an ROV bumps the thing, dislodges the stopper, and damages the pipe. So they have to go get another pipe, and they put that one in on May 16th, right? And there's still, at this point, lots of oil leaking out. So they're trying to find, okay, can we do something more permanent than the stupid pipe, right?
We have to have something with a much cooler name.
Yeah. So we try the top kill.
Hell yeah. I don't know what that is, but I approve of it.
There's connection points on the blowout preventer where you can connect a pipe, right? And you can pump stupid amounts of drilling mud at stupid pressures to try and kill the well, right? Now, if there's an uncontrolled blowout like this, half the stuff goes out the top, So you need to use a lot of it, right? So you're just trying to overwhelm this with sheer pressure and volume.
Quality has a quantity all its own. Or no, wait, the other way around.
The other way around, yes.
There's no replacement for displacement. Dodge Viper.
Once you've overwhelmed the oil, of course, that's when you start pumping in stupid amounts of cement to seal the well, right?
Yeah, you just have to kind of like feed liquids into it until it assumes a kind of submissive posture, I guess.
Yeah,
which,
exactly.
You know,
you have to completely
it's
overwhelm the pressure from 18,000 feet of earth.
This is how bartenders treat me.
Yeah.
What?
So
don't worry about it.
Missed it.
The thing about a top kill, it generally doesn't work very well without a functioning blowout preventer. And it did not work in this case.
Oh.
So there was another strategy, the junk shot.
Even the verbiage is getting like more and more chud here.
Liam?
So
junk shot. Oh yes, I love LeBron's junk shot.
Junk shot, baby.
This is a method. I'm not actually certain they did this, but there's a lot of environmental groups who got mad about it. Right? Apparently, this worked great in Kuwait in '91.
Oh yeah, you showed me this documentary.
Yeah. Well, that was a different well plugging company. That was Boots and Coots.
That was not
Boots, Coots.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
That was not Joe Bowden's Wild Well Control Spring Texas yee-haw with crack noise.
So if just pumping drilling mud in there isn't enough, here's what you do. You're going to throw lots of crap into the blowout preventer.
This is the Chernobyl thing. You get an like an MI8 with an excavator bucket full of like basalt or whatever the fuck, like used razors, cinder blocks, etc. And you just keep dumping it in there until the Geiger counter says it's okay.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah. In this case, it's golf balls, tennis balls, old rope, shredded tires, any old crap. They could fit down the high pressure pipe and into the blowout preventer with the hope that it would
what if we just dump a bunch of shit in there?
It would
Come
then
down
get
to
wedged.
Crazy Justin's Well Plugging Incorporated.
It would get wedged against the partially closed blowout preventer and restrict the flow enough that they could then start pumping in the drilling mud and then eventually the cement.
Can
right?
we do we think that as well as t-shirts we can just sell them a Crazy Justin's Well Plugging Company belt buckle?
We can try.
So I am again not sure if they actually tried this, but it seems like, well, I don't see why they wouldn't. So this also did not work. It was now May 29th. The thing has been leaking for nearly a whole month, right? In the meantime, of course, the spill is reaching the surface, right? There are ways you can contain big oil slicks like that. You can have a big floating boom on the surface, right? That doesn't work in rough waters.
Democrats when they get the presidency back.
Yeah.
I love the smiley face.
Thank you.
You can try and remove the oil. There are a lot of small skimmer boats that are doing that, just skimming the oil off the top. There was also a specially equipped skimmer or oil ship. It could carry ore or oil. It was called a whale.
More ships should be named kind of conceptually like that.
Yes. This didn't work although I did get a picture of it in there just because really big, like super tanker, but it can also carry ore. And you can see, oh look, there's a whale on the
I will note that a whale has been named 3 different things, and each one of them comprises a different kind of transgender. It's been a whale, very non-binary. It's been Madison Orca, very transfemme, and it's currently Cosmo Ace, very transmasc.
And well, funnily enough, it was called a whale because the other ships in this class were B whale, C whale, all the way up to H whale. But I think it's funny. It's a whale. So anyway, these methods worked okay, but heavier duty solutions eventually had to be implemented, namely chemical dispersants and controlled burns, right? Both of these things were pretty nasty, but they work to a certain extent. It's better to burn off the oil than have it, wash ashore. The chemical dispersants aren't great, but they're better than the oil, right?
To an extent.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff about the dispersants later, and I think that they may have actually made it worse. It's difficult to say because nobody really did. Like, there are studies on specific aspects of this, but because of it just, you poisoned the entire Gulf of Mexico for 2 months.
It's such a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say, like, well, it probably helped in some aspects, and it probably hurt other aspects. Anyway,
and the Gulf of Mexico is already mostly poison.
Yes.
Yeah, I lived in Houston for a while. I know. You go down to Galveston and like dip your toe in and watch it turn to shrivel and fall off your body.
Oh.
And this is also where the media circus starts around the whole thing. I mean, it's obviously there would be because it's a horrible environmental disaster. No one can really understand why it takes so long to plug a hole. And plugging this hole is very difficult, as it turns out. You have these wild rumors. People are suggesting all kinds of crazy shit, like BP should nuke the well to seal it, right?
Just give BP the nuclear weapons directly. That'll be that'll help.
Exactly.
Yes. You can trust us. See, we have a smiley face.
The Soviets tried it 3 times or 4 times, and it worked 3 of those times. So
it's like, make the Gulf of Mexico also pretty radioactive.
Yeah, exactly. People are like, okay, the relief wells are going to be doomed to failure. BP knows all that, all kinds of crap. It was, it was big. It was a big thing for a long time. I mean, I remember watching all this on television. So, all right, the oil companies have done their piece, and it didn't really work too well. So let's talk about the top hat. Right?
Yes.
So if at first you don't succeed, you try again. And that was exactly what Joe Bowden's Wild Well Control of Spring, Texas, yee-haw, was about to do. Right? So they learned from their failures. They're now wise to the ways of the methane clathrate. They have figured out how to defeat it.
I need to hear Joe Bowden of Joe Bowden's Wild Well Control of Spring, Texas, yee-haw, whip crack pronounce methane clathrate more than anything.
So the top hat is much smaller than the containment dome, right? This is only about 4 feet in diameter. Now that I'm looking at the diagram, right?
Oh boy.
It is designed to fit snugly over the end of the riser, which an ROV cuts into a cleaner shape, right? This is their other logo down here. You can see there's huge. I know, right? Look at that. I looked at their website. They have unfortunately gone with like a more corporate thing now.
Pussies.
This is bullshit.
I know, right? So the top hat is smaller. It's designed to fit on top of a riser, which has been cut into shape for it, right? And the top hat continuously circulates methanol, wood alcohol, the type that makes you go blind, into the oil stream, right? And that prevents the formation of methane clathrates, both chemically and because it's hot, right? And this works okay-ish. It's limited by some unforeseen problems, right? In order to place it on top of the riser, it has several relief vents on top, right? And that way you didn't have to like force it down on top of there with an ROV, which is something an ROV can't do. But once it was in place, the ROVs couldn't close the relief valves. So a big chunk of the oil just went in there and then went out the top, or it came out the front, right?
Highly vented top hat. Like you got kind of like the perforated bit around the top. Like
top hat by Under Armour.
Yeah.
But there's still, during the period where the pipe was inserted, the Discoverer Enterprise collected something like 22,000 barrels of oil in total. But with the top hat in there, they were collecting 15,000 barrels of oil each day.
Jesus, okay.
But they could still do better, right? The blowout preventer itself is still leaking right at that nasty kink right on top, right up here.
Nasty kink, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's leaking.
So they can design a better top hat, the Top Hat 10.
Top Hat 10, yee-haw!
Do I have to have seen the intervening 8 top hats?
I don't know what happened.
Like
I don't know what happened
movies.
with those. Top Hat 10 was designed to fit snugly on top of the blowout preventer. All they had to do was cut the riser at the blowout preventer. All you have to do is cut the riser. It's easy. You just get a nice, clean cut on the riser. Just get a nice, clean cut. It's not so hard. Just do that. So they broke a diamond saw and fucked it up.
Is that the cut?
That's the cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice clean cut, as you can see.
God, it's like I did this.
I've seen someone completely inexperienced carve a turkey.
There's no.
You ever watch someone try to cut bread with a non-serrated knife?
Oh God.
I mean, like a sourdough, you know?
The oil. The oil was now flowing into the Gulf completely uncontrolled. No one knew if they could fix it now. This was so stupid and bad.
This was so stupid and bad. Oh, it's fade to
I
black.
don't want.
Oh, it's ended like
I
the
don't care about
Sopranos.
Java runtime environment. All right. So they deploy Top Hat number 10 anyway. They bring it down.
That's the belt buckle. That's the fucking belt buckle.
That's the
incredible.
belt buckle with the guy and the aviators. Yeah.
Yeah.
That does look kind of like Joe Biden.
Ooh, Earthrider, thanks for the crude oil.
God damn it. Oh my God. Why would you make me remember that?
Top Hat number 10 is put in place. It makes a tight seal around the piece of shit cut and the blowout preventer. It is entirely successful. It works beautifully.
Amazing.
You may have not believed it. You didn't think they could do it, but Joe Bowden's wild well controlled Spring, Texas, yee-haw, has contained this leak, channeled all of the oil to the surface. Now, who am I kidding? I always had faith in them. I knew they were going to do it.
I knew if you
like
gave them
that,
5 or 6 or 10 tries, they would eventually do it.
Yeah. This was now still a problem, though, because there was too much damn oil coming out. Between Discoverer Enterprise and the Q4000 drilling platform, they could process 25,000 barrels of oil a day, which was not enough. They still have no way of restricting the flow. And, I don't know exactly what they do with what they can't process. I assume they're either burning it all. Well, I don't think they're even burning it. I think burning it is part of the capacity there. I think they're probably just tossing it overboard.
Cool.
Eventually they bring in more ships, but it's still a delicate situation, right? And they eventually they manage to get the big gun in, right? Something a little bit more permanent, the capping stack, right? I don't know what took them this long. I assume it's lead time because it's a complicated piece of equipment. But essentially, this is a small blowout preventer they could put on top of the normal blowout preventer. It's July 12th when this thing is installed. It's the thing that's finally going to let them get a handle on the situation, right? And so they try closing the well very, very slowly. They're testing it as cautiously as possible because they don't know if there's some break further down the well, which if they change pressure rapidly might just change where the oil is blowing out to somewhere underground, which is going to be much more difficult to fix. And considering it's already a very difficult situation, you don't want that. So on July 16th, on what was supposed to only be a test, the capping stack did its job. The flow of oil stopped. But there was still reason to be uneasy, right? Because pressure in the well was much lower than expected, but no one could quite find a leak.
Amazing. Like sort of like waking up and like, you know, your hand is wet, but you don't know why.
Yes. Yes, pretty much. Now at this point, Tropical Storm Bonnie tries to ruin everyone's day. The site was evacuated on July 22nd, and then the storm just disperses. It doesn't happen. So everyone comes back. The well was still not leaking. They begin something called a static kill on the well on August 2nd, which is essentially the same process as the top kill, but much easier because the oil was not flowing. And this works, but they don't want to take any chances. The first relief well breaks through in mid-September, which allows the process of the bottom kill to start, right? They plug the whole damn well with cement. It was done. The well was dead. Hallelujah.
Right.
They finally did it, and all it took them was 10 tries.
Nothing bad happened.
But, you know, and I'm going to hand it back to Victoria here. The environmental damage had been done.
Oh, yeah. So this is from NOAA. This is the oil spill extent and where they close down all of the federal fisheries, because the federal government essentially like lets fishermen go out in these areas. So they closed down like most of the Gulf for 2010 through 2011. And so fiscally, like I'm not even going to talk about the environmental damage yet. Just the fiscally, the fishing industry alone lost about $8 billion because there was oil from Texas to Florida along 1,300 miles of shoreline. That is the linear distance from New Orleans to New York City, covered like that has some sort of oiling impact on these beaches. The slick ended up being the size of the state of Virginia, 43,300 square miles. No, tourism is completely annihilated. Although, and this is, I'm going to say his name because I don't want him to ever get to sleep again, is Tom Sessler, an official blogger.
You say?
Tom Sessler.
Tom Sessler.
An official blogger on the BP website reporting from Huma, 30 miles north of the Gulf, wrote around sometime after the disaster responses in like July. Much of the region's other businesses, particularly the hotels, have been prospering because so many people have come here from BP and other oil emergency response teams. So, you know, that was his positive spin on it. Is like, yeah, we destroyed the economic livelihood of like, you know, tens of millions of people and wiped out this entire ecosystem for a decade. But like the hotels aren't doing bad because we have to have people here to cap the well.
Yeah, Joe Bowden, Joe Bowden's employees.
Maybe Joe Biden was there too, because like he was Veep at the time. He might have been down there. What was Joe Biden doing in 2010?
Watching Will and Grace and eating a shit ton of ice cream. I don't know.
He's probably Trans Am.
Doing cameos on Parks and Rec.
I know they won't let the president drive a car, but will they let the vice president drive a car? Was he out rocking the Corvette?
Probably not.
They should.
They should let the president drive a car. I mean, they should let Trump drive a really unsafe car, but like they should let all presidents drive a car.
Kneel him over a ditch.
Well, like, because part of the reason why they're so like weird is because they're divorced from the everyday experience. America is about driving your car, right?
Sure.
That's what your country is, and they don't let you do it if you're in charge of it, which is fucked up.
Yeah, so the end result for BP is they pay out $4 billion in criminal fines after pleading guilty to 14 different felony counts, some of which are clean water, some of which are EPA. We fucked up. We'll plead guilty. They end up paying about $20 billion in damages total. They're actually still paying out for another 6 years as of this recording. So they are still paying out to environmentally remediate this to 2031.
When I was in law school, my commercial law professor was a guy I admired a lot because one of his deals was you got to put people in prison, and I mean serious prison for corporate malfeasance. Like you just have to.
We're gonna do corporate supermax. I don't mean like whatever private prison shit. I mean we're gonna do supermax. We're gonna do the shit they did to what's his name? The guy who just died. The Aldrich Ames?
Charlie Kirk?
Aldrich Ames? No, Charlie Kirk had it coming. I don't give a shit.
But like he'd like done his like research on this, and his thing was like, yeah, you can, you know, sort of corporate structures do adapt to having to send someone to prison, but ultimately it is in some ways an effective deterrent if you really do just do it and just like identify senior executives and hold them personally criminally liable.
Seems to be working good for China.
Yeah.
I mean,
not as good as it could be, but fuck a lot better than us, either of us.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they paid out $20 billion in damages total. They're still paying out till 2031. It's the largest settlement against a single entity in American history. No one went to prison. I should just make that clear.
That's
nobody went to prison for this.
That in itself is a malfeasance. Yeah.
Yeah. Next slide, please. You really want to be upset?
I do.
There is a picture of the oil slick as seen from the International Space Station on May 24th, 2010.
Grimy.
Yeah. I mean, like, however big you're thinking this is, it's huge. Again, for the Zoomers in the audience who don't remember this, it was bad. And the thing is like, it ended up being somewhere around 60,000 barrels a day leaking into the ocean when all was said and done. And it was undersold for a while. It didn't become clear that was the flow rate until like towards the end of the capping process. And, you know, all told, it was 134 million gallons of oil over the 87 days that it was actively leaking.
I mean, honestly, they should have just taken the whole board of BP and just like dumped them on a raft in the middle of this.
Yeah. I mean, I would take
pretty
that.
much,
I think it should be televised, but you know, do some Mr. Beast shit to them. I don't give a shit. Just like let me watch them. So yeah, within a matter of weeks, they're finding polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or
I haven't
PAHs.
gotten to that one yet. I'm still part of the way through Polysecure.
Oh my God. Please, no, you can't. Please, we gotta bring back cooler language for this stuff. We're making being gay sound nerdy.
Aldrich Ames is who I was thinking of, but he died in FCI Cumberland. I thought he was in Supermax, but yeah. Regardless, we don't even need prisons for these people. Just line them up. And
you can't say that on YouTube.
Yeah. So these are oil spill linked hydrocarbons that are extremely toxic, and they're found like 8 miles away and 3,000 feet deep in the ocean within weeks. And because they are using so many dispersants, they are breaking this oil up into component chemicals that are arguably even worse for the environment. But they have no real decision here. I mean, you could also say that BP was, now you could say this, I don't think you legally could and not get sued, but you could make an argument if you wanted to, that like BP owned the company that made some of the dispersants, and so they were making money off the fact that they were using so many dispersants. And also they were just trying to get the optics to look better. And if you coat a bunch of baby seals in oil, everybody gets mad at you. And if you kill off all the baby seals because you've just poisoned the ocean for a generation, then people are likely to have forgotten about it in hopefully 5 years or whatever. But you again, legally, you can't say that, but you could postulate it.
We're doing so good here.
Yep.
Yeah, this whole episode is like, I don't know. People either really like me or really hate me after it. I guess we'll find out. I hope there isn't like an avid NATO fandom in the well, there's your problem listener base. Like, yeah, but you're an anarchist, so like I'm not.
Yeah, I don't count. It's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, it's simple. Half of the fan base are FBI agents who listen for fun, and half of them are FBI agents who listen for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and the use of dispersants also makes the oil leach into the beaches and then the groundwater a lot quicker because it's been broken down. And so you see all of this coastline erode really rapidly because all of the vegetation has been killed by the oil and the dispersants, which causes like a lot of economic damage. In 2012, Hurricane Isaac brought over 500,000 barrels of oil ashore, which was more than had been removed from the Gulf in the 8 months prior, which suggested the deep ocean 2 years later was still like incredibly heavily polluted, which was a really big concern because the food chain requires that there's like sediment dwelling microorganisms that burrow under and kick up all the sand and oil that's going to be buried at the bottom of this. And then, of course, things upstream are going to eat them, and it's going to poison everything forever. And of course, like 3 years later, they're still finding tar balls washing up on the coast of Mississippi. So like, the government said, and this is during the Obama administration, this is a massive oversimplification, so don't get too mad at me, but like mostly everything was fine. The oil settled back down. It's all clean now. Don't worry about it. There are quite a few university researchers who did not agree with that assessment and said the ecological damage is going to be like, it's going to take generations to fully understand it. The next slide, please. What we do know is that I have numbers for a lot of this: 105,400 seabirds, 7,600 adult, and 160,000 juvenile sea turtles were killed in the immediate aftermath. There was roughly half the dolphins in Barataria Bay in Louisiana died. Dolphins that the researchers were finding years later were like sickly and anemic and missing teeth, full of birth defects, and like not long for this world. Like anecdotally, like people who
and it's so fucking like you get to go to, you know, like anything for sort of like people with corporate jobs, with email jobs. You get to go to like the nice restaurants or whatever and be like, yeah, I work for BP. I'm like a dolphin poisoner. And people,
I'm the reason you throw up when you eat seafood in New Orleans.
Yeah, and you just get to do that, you know. Not only do you face no kind of like criminal sanction, you don't even face any social sanction because nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Well, that's what's kind of wild to me is like I don't know. Obviously, like I have pretty complicated feelings about having worked even tangentially related to the automotive industry for a while, and I tried to do good with it when I could, and I don't think I did as much as I should have. But like, I don't understand how people don't like grapple with their role in the system we have built more. And I guess I'm finding out as kind of like I watched the United States systemically prove itself incapable of grappling with anything that anybody's doing ever, that they just don't. I don't know. When I used to be a software engineer, and like, you know, I worked at NASA for a bit, and I could have quit there and gone and developed weapons. I wasn't very good as a software developer, but they'll just give you a ton of money to do that. And I was like, no, I don't want to work for the military industrial complex. That's crazy. And then I watched a bunch of other people do it who I previously held in high esteem, and it was just baffling. But I don't know. This is a sidebar for no purpose other than I don't think I understand how other people work.
I don't know how any of this works other than, again, like vulgar Marxism, which seems to be, you know, getting by.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, yeah, the guy who his job was to poison dolphins, like fishing, like people who had historically fished this area said that like fish and shrimp were covered in lesions, born without eyes, and you know they didn't even have eye sockets, and it was just like, it was horrifying for years. And the dispersants that they were using were known mutagens, so that was probably making things worse. If the oil wasn't enough, the dispersants probably would have been. This incident killed 17% of the entire known population of Rice's whales, which dwell in the Gulf of Mexico, and now today they are critically endangered. That's like the most obvious, like, here's the lasting effect we have today, 15 years later, that I could find. At the time, we knew that anywhere between 4 and 8.5 billion oysters were rendered dead or toxic by this oil spill. But it's really difficult to find out exactly like how much.
At least if you're the dolphin poisoner, you don't get to order the oysters at the nice restaurant anymore.
I love oysters. I'm sorry. They're very good.
I've had like literally oysters the one time in my life, and I got really sick. So never again.
Same here, actually.
Yep.
I would simply risk it every time. Oysters are delicious.
And I had oysters in New Orleans, which may have been poisoned by Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of dolphin poison in you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ross.
Yeah. So, and of course, like, you know, we know that like there's extensive damage to coral reefs. There's probably still a ton of oil down there. I mean, granted, this was at 5,000 feet underneath the surface of the Gulf, so it's difficult to tell exactly like what's down there still. And now we'll probably never know the full extent of it because we've destroyed every single scientific research program that America has, because we live in hell. But you know, the Gulf is hitting record high temperatures every year now, and has been for the past like 5. So maybe everything would have died off anyway, and it won't matter in the end as it is. Next slide, please.
Happy.
Damn, I really was not in a good mood when I wrote these slides, was I? I'm sorry. So the sort of quote I chose to encapsulate this entire disaster was from William Riley, who was the co-chair of, I believe, the White House investigation. And he said, the series of decisions that doomed Macondo, the specific, you know, prospect that they were drilling on, evidenced a failure of management, and good management could have avoided a catastrophe. But we didn't have good management because it was fucking BP again. This whole incident is kind of considered like the textbook example of like ecocide, which is where you fuck up the environment so bad that it will never be the same again. Like the shoreline is erased, and you know the repercussions on like fishing communities and tourism and just the general ecological health of the Gulf is permanent and can't be undone. Even like going, if you would like to ever make yourself incredibly depressed, I recommend going to Wikipedia's page on the Deepwater Horizon and just scrolling through the mental health impacts section of the aftermath. And it's really like every study is like, yeah, everybody was like alcoholic and depressed because their entire livelihood and community had been wiped out by this, basically, from basically Houston to like the panhandle of Florida. But, you know, that's an area of America that we historically don't care about. So, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something that like had this kind of huge disaster happen and then being fucked over by the climate anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this slide is from BP's own website. This is from 29th of September 2025. BP approves the Tiber-Guadalupe project in the U.S. Gulf of America.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Which is 250 miles off the coast of Louisiana, even deeper this time, trying to pull out 80,000 barrels a day by 2029 in the same area, in the same region. There's a bunch of projects to drill there again because, like, why not? I mean, there's oil there, and we're certainly not transitioning off it anytime soon, so it's just money. You just drill in, and, you know, if you destroy the earth again, who the fuck cares? Like, what is it? EPA gonna, like, arrest you for it? Anyway, and now it's the Gulf of America. So, like, you know, in closing, we live in hell.
Yeah. An America which is spiritually and physically poisoned.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a discourse today, which I'm sure will be quaint by the time this episode releases, after, you know, we have begun the military invasion of Reykjavik, because we got confused about where we were actually trying to head. But it was like, is America, you know, is America actually bad, or is it like,
yes,
is it? And it's like, are you seriously doing this? Are you like, come on, like we can try to make America good if you want. Like if that's your proposal is like make America good, cool, sure. I mean, there's a lot of people here. I think we should make it good instead of bad. But like, you cannot sit here and be like, well, I think America's always had very high ideals. No, fuck you, absolutely not. This was when I was 15 years old, and the environment is still fucked from it, and now they are drilling again. This is why I fundamentally do not think things can get better in America. I'm just ranting. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm kind of losing my mind.
We only have 8,000 to 10,000 years until the next ice age comes, and the glaciers roll over and restore all these coastlines.
Can't come soon enough.
So, yeah.
Wipe us out. Let the chimps have a turn.
I think we should go back to. I think we should let like marine life have a go at it.
No, I like chimps. I think they're neat.
Okay, so my obsession lately is otters.
Otters hold hands.
They're adorable.
I love them to death. My wife, when I get really stressed out, will put the Monterey Bay Aquarium recording of otters hanging out off the California coast on the TV, and it like always works. I feel like an infant, and then it's like, oh, sweetie, you're anxious. Here, look at your otters. But it does work every time.
Tricking your own brain is one of the things that like works the like best for something that is like feels so insultingly dumb. It's just like, oh, what's up, fucking like idiot dipshit organ? Are you like this because you haven't had water? Do you want some more water? And then you drink some water and your brain's like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. I guess we didn't mean all that stuff we said earlier.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw an otter once in the wild. It was in the Creek and Rittenhouse Town Park.
Huh?
I was surprised. I didn't think otters lived in the city of Philadelphia, except at the zoo.
We should go to the zoo.
My wife and I for Christmas went to Oysterville, Washington, which is a real place. I did have oysters there. They were fucking delicious. But we went
the whole time you're eating them, you think, you know what really enhanced this is a bunch of British petroleum dumped all over them.
Yes.
But we went some like crude oil as a side, you know.
We went to a nature reserve while we were staying out there, and I did get to see an otter in the wild for the first time, and I shit you not, it was probably the happiest I've been in the past. Like, I don't know, how long has it been since I got married? It's been that long. It was like, all right, happiest days of my life.
When you come back out here, we got to find some like nature. I think they still make it up here.
Oh yeah. Do you have otters?
Yeah, probably. Scotland, otters.
What do they call them? Scotters?
Ooh.
Yeah, they
up
could
there.
Oh, that's funny.
We have about 8,000 of the guys. So yeah,
it's a little otter in a kilt, and he's got some bagpipes.
Oh yeah,
that's so cute. Goddamn, somebody should make a shirt with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done now. I'm sorry. That last little bit of that episode was not very fun. I apologize.
Yeah.
It's this or therapy, and to be honest, I should probably get therapy as well. But you know, that's a thing to get over.
Unfortunately, I've decided that when these episodes go to about 3 hours, we are here for a bad time and a long time.
Yeah,
this is true.
One never ends.
The thing about therapy is they have to email you back eventually.
Oh God. No, I don't. Don't talk to me about the prospect of getting a new therapist. My God.
So what did we learn?
Kneel these people over ditches.
There need to be serious, violent criminal consequences for corporate executives. Capitalism is not only the worst and most nonsensical way of organizing our resources, it's also literally poisoning you. And granted, communism will poison you too, but like, you know, it's the people's poison, so fucking suck it up, right? Get in there. We
have to get off oil.
Yeah, and it's very plausible to do. And when we do, the only way that we're going to get to the kind of solar punk yogurt ad future where everything's nice is if there is like some kind of justice for the people who decided that our energy system was going to be this way when they knew about the consequences, including this.
So after we do Nuremberg for the ice agents, we got to do Nuremberg for the oil executives.
Yes.
Literally, yes.
Just like
I will be running Batman fucking Scarecrow show trials. Like
I'm with you.
I would also like to shout out Devin at this point. Thank you for not getting me arrested and sent to federal prison.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if they have or not. You know, you could have been.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, you might be listening to this in the future, and events.
You might be listening to this from prison, and you're like, "Damn, we did a good job. Wish they'd done some more beeps, though."
But I think the other thing we learned is that if you have a well that's blown out, you need to call Joe Bowden's Wild Well Control of Spring, Texas. Yee-haw! And they will get it fixed in as few as 3 tries. All right. Well, we have a segment on this podcast called Safety Third.
Shake hands with danger.
Greetings to all involved in production.
Nah, too general.
That's right.
Failing grade.
Production of crude oil. That's what we do on this podcast.
That's us.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs ending in death.
Yeah. 3 wells
This is
producing
how I felt when I
10,000
woke up
barrels
this
a week.
morning.
Today, I'd like to talk to you about the cannabis industry in the state of Michigan, a sleeper state for the highest quality, cheapest, and most abundant legal weed in the United States of America. No
Interesting.
photos because I'm under an NDA.
Oh boy.
I worked at one of the larger grows in the state, and a few years back, we hired a new head of maintenance and facilities, a job that also put him in charge of safety and security at our facility. You'll be about as pleased as I was to hear his background. Retired Air Force colonel, then Amazon warehouse director. And he deigned to come all the way to Michigan to pursue his middle-aged dream of working with weed.
Season 4 of For All Mankind, Ed Baldwin. That's for 5 people, but they'll be thrilled I said it.
Working with weed, which all old guys think is cool as fuck. He was famous for losing his temper and screaming at employees in front of a bunch of other people and being extremely weird.
Well, you said he was a colonel, and a colonel is kind of the mayor of the military in the sense that you have a lot of power in a kind of localized way a lot of the time, and also it's as high as you can get with one of the really oppositional personality disorders.
Yeah. I mean, and you can like finagle that into still being a colonel but running Libya. It was decided by the powers that be that we would start fogging with ozone in order to disinfect grow rooms and our processing facilities. Ozone, or O3, is an oxygen molecule that has 3 atoms of oxygen instead of 2, and for whatever reason, that extra oxygen atom makes it great at killing pests and microbes. Plus,
fucking binding preferentially or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, it's organic. Unfortunately, ozone is as toxic to humans as it is to pests and mold, including, perhaps especially, the humans that worked in the facility being disinfected. See hilarious figure below, unrelated to the poison thing.
Is this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where the sort of like baseline need is lung function decrements?
Yes.
Gotta have my lung function decrements.
A new thing Google is doing is that when I copy the text of these emails into the notes, when there's an image, it adds an AI-generated description of the image.
Oh
which
my
here is,
God, we have to kill every Google executive as well.
That's all right. Throw them in the pile.
Here is, it says a pyramid of healthcare with the Mediterranean Sea in the background.
Literally none of that's right. It's not even a pyramid.
Hold on. I'm drawing it in. There should be, what's in the Mediterranean? Right, that's right, the Colosseum.
It does say AI-generated content may be incorrect, which is true in the sense that, this is not financial advice, kind of baseline disclosure.
Power, right.
It's not enough. Over here, AI-generated content is almost always incorrect.
Please get on with
and
this.
is always stolen.
This is a pizza, right? Okay.
And it's always deeply upsetting to look at as well.
Yeah. So anyway, I corrected it so it's more similar to the AI description. Anyway, ozone fogging initially took place on the second shift, where they would close foggers in unused rooms which were not airtight, adjacent to rooms that second shifters were hard at work in.
Oh, see, I thought this was going to be a kind of that one scene from Tenet situation, but instead what you're doing is just like fumigating the entire building.
Yes. When second shift started to complain about the overpowering metallic smell of the ozone giving them headaches, our head of facilities and maintenance, Mr. Amazon, magnanimously decided that fogging would be done on the third shift instead.
It's like, oh, I guess you don't want to have your sinuses cleared out. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, it's like Colonel Amazon to you.
To be fair, if you've been in the Air Force, like everyone in the Air Force has been like splashing around in big puddles of toxic waste that they paint all the stealth aircraft in all day.
This is true, yeah.
Being in the Air Force gives you every kind of cancer eventually.
It's true.
Nobody worked in the building between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. at the time, so all the teams setting up the foggers needed to do was to put them on a timer and then head home for the night. Well, I guess we just couldn't figure out the timer situation.
Building full of weed employees asked to work timer. It writes itself, I'm sorry. Hey, don't forget people who are around weed all the time. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm profiling them. Maybe all of these people have great short-term memory.
We're at the sober weed factory.
Yeah.
We don't get high on our own supply. Anyway, one day first shift came in and we had to wait an hour and a half for the smell to dissipate before we could go into the building. The one airtight room in the facility happened to be the one I worked in, which stank of ozone and made me and my 2 coworkers ill within an hour of exposure. We submitted incident reports to Colonel Amazon and went home for the day. Fogging went back to second shift to avoid further delays on first shift, with no mention of why it was okay for second shift, which had no management, to get exposed every single working night for 8 hours, but first shift, which was all the management, was not allowed in the building while the smell persisted. Turns out that prolonged exposure to ozone can cause permanent breathing issues like COPD, which is amazing to have in a building full of workers that have been smoking weed since they were 13.
I profiled correctly then, I see.
A sharp spike in asthma attacks on the second shift and a couple of fainting spells and a heart attack on first shift sent a few people to the hospital the next town over, ultimately culminating in the hospital calling Michigan OSHA on our facility.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I mean, shout out to the hospital.
Turns out Colonel Amazon had been throwing out any incident reports related to ozone exposures, almost 50 of them, right? Which is incredible considering there were maybe 20 people on second shift at any given time.
Jesus.
And there's no satisfying end to the story, really. Colonel Amazon kept his job for almost a year after this fiasco, right up until he cussed out one of the executives at headquarters. We did stop using ozone as a fogger, and it seems like instances of medical distress sharply dropped, but we still regularly applied pesticides in rooms that aren't airtight when workers carried on in the adjacent grow rooms. Thanks for podcasting and keeping me entertained on my 10-plus hour shifts at the old weed factory. From Full Legal Name.
Thank you, Full Legal Name. Your shift is now half done.
Your watch
Yes.
is ended.
And remember, never climb Maslow's pyramid of cardiac arrest.
Do not do that, yes. Well,
I'm stealing this and I'm posting it on Twitter. So yeah, when this episode comes out, you will have seen it tweeted about 2 weeks before.
Yes.
You should put on Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. They should invent people who get jokes on Blue Sky.
Oof.
Yeah, no, that is a difficult part
Not
about that
wrong.
platform. Well, that was Safety Third.
Shake hands with danger.
Our next episode will be on Chernobyl. Does anyone have any commercials before we go?
Oh, listen to all of the podcast. If you are a Chinese automotive journal editor, employ Victoria.
Yes.
If you're really if you're from any other country aside from America and you're cool with trans women there, you should hit me up.
Do that.
No, I
If
want to
you've got
come
a
visit you.
job
I want
for
to
an
come visit you in
automotive journalist.
Chengdu, where it's and like boil to death. I want to just like fry directly onto the pavement the second I step out of the airport.
Too late. Victoria is going to be covering the Albanian motor industry.
There was I don't know if this episode is going to come out in time for it, so I'll probably
built
post about
like
it on
a
my Blue
bunker.
Sky. But given the specific topic of this podcast, they are trying to open up offshore drilling off the coast of California and Alaska and the Gulf of what they now call the Gulf of America again. And there's a period for public comment. And Monterey Bay Aquarium.
I got a fucking public comment. Let me tell you.
The aforementioned people who make the otter videos have asked for public comment saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Please stop this." And as a fool who still hopes that somehow we can avert every disaster all at once, I was going to link that so that people could be like, hey, maybe don't do this. It's a bad idea. Not the key thing, the key takeaway from this is I tried to research, could this happen again? Was absolutely yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nothing has changed.
Excellent.
So the only way to really stop it is if we don't do more offshore drilling, which is difficult because the federal government controls whether or not people get to do that.
Right.
Or if you're a BP and you're listening to this somehow, quit your job right now and tell your boss it's because you fucking hate everything
Shallow
you do. And then,
grave.
Yes.
Shallow grave. Shallow grave.
I'm not going to advocate for actual violence at work.
Shallow grave. Shallow grave. I am.
So that link will be in the description. Please give them a piece of your mind.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think so. I think that's everything.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Well, I guess that was a podcast.
It was only 3 hours, which I feel like
we managed fine.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
That was
Amazing.
And this, I have business.
Business?